to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
And a very good morning to you. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. And can you believe it? It is the last Monday for the month of May, and hopefully it has been a wonderful May for you. And we have a beautiful show ahead as we are live with you from 6 till 9. Now on Mondays, we like to put the focus on our mental health. And today we are focusing your Mental Health Monday within the home. Now this is from working from home to homeschooling during the pandemic, the family dynamics, as well as the relationship dynamics between partners has also taken a shift, some for the good, others not so good. And we would love to bring you all of that advice and insight that you might need. And we are also opening up our lines to hear your stories on how you manage to cope or not cope with your mental health in the home. And we also have invited a panel of, I don't want to call them judges, but they are a panel. We've invited life coach Sally Bingham, as well as motivational speaker Dr. Steve Harris, as well as mom blogger and influencer Babalwa Qaqisa, as well as our relationship expert Slindile Mbata. So we've got that panel ready, and we would love to hear from you. That number is 063 408 8863. But there's someone else we need to say good morning to. Hey, Wasty. It's time for us to take a look at your national headlines. Apologies for that technical difficulty. Now, with your national news, the government yesterday received humanitarian aid from Qatar to help it deal with the devastation caused by floods in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, the aid includes food, clothing, and medical supplies. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, International Relations Minister Naledi Pandor, Social Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu, and KZN Premier Sihle Zikalala were at King Shaka International Airport to receive the humanitarian aid. Dlamini Zuma praised Qatar for the aid. More than 7,000 people are expected to benefit from Qatar's contribution and food and clothing. And staying with local news, power utility Eskom announced the suspension of load shedding yesterday due to marginal improvement in power generating capacity. It has been implementing load shedding for 3 weeks now due to energy generation constraints caused by power generating units breakdowns in several power stations and some units being on scheduled maintenance. Eskom indicated yesterday that it still has about 13,805 megawatts of power generating capacity out due to breakdown, and a further 4,331 megawatt unavailable due to planned maintenance. The public has been asked to continue using electricity sparingly. We now move to news abroad. Nigerian police have launched an investigation after 31 people died in a stampede in the southern city of Port Harcourt. Now, it happened at a sports field on Saturday morning where members of the King Assembly's Church were distributing food to the needy, some of whom had waited there overnight. It's reported that the crowd became uncontrollable and organizers were unable to calm the situation. Many of those who died were women and children. Witnesses said there was frantic pushing and shoving, and many were trampled underfoot. And we stay with news abroad. The EU failed yesterday to agree on an embargo of Russian oil, but diplomats will still attempt to make progress ahead of a summit today and tomorrow on the exemption for pipeline deliveries and landlocked Central European countries. But a senior EU diplomat said, and I quote, "Still too much detail to sort out," unquote, to hope for an agreement between European Union leaders that gathers in Brussels this afternoon. The proposed sanctions on oil imports is part of the European Union's sixth sanctions package against Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. And next, Barrett Golden, a 2-year-old trickster from Texas in the US, opened the app for a good delivery concern on his mom's phone and placed an order for 31 cheeseburgers. Now, the total of the order was a whopping $92. That's close to 1,500 Rand, including a generous tip of 25% the toddler left. Now, was it an innocent accident or the perfect prank? Since Barrett's only 2, probably the former, but it's so deliciously hilarious nonetheless. Mom Kelsey said Barrett isn't some sort of boy genius who was able to navigate the app. He was just playing with my phone, she said, and admitted that she had forgotten to lock it. But wait for it, Barrett doesn't even like cheeseburgers, so Mom Kelsey offered the patties up for free to hungry neighbors. Afterwards, the restaurant invited the devoted young customer to hang out with some company mascots, and Mom Kelsey's final comment on the great cheeseburger mishap was, "I hope it spreads a little humor in a sad, dark world." And we think Barrett did just that. Well, on that very happy note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's hope the sport is a happy one.
What do you mean you hope the sport is a happy one, Zoe? Come on now, let's start with football. Let's go there, shall we? Real Madrid were crowned Champions League winners for a record extending 14th time. 14 is my favorite number. After beating Liverpool 1-0 in the final in Paris, and Vinicius Jr. scored the winning goal in the 59th minute, while Madrid goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois made a record 9 saves in a man-of-the-match performance. Back home, Mamelodi Sundowns also had a fantastic weekend. They won the Nedbank Cup after beating Marumo Gallants 2-1 in extra time to complete a domestic treble. And yesterday, Nottingham Forest clinched promotion to the Premier League for the first time in, hear this, 23 years, with a 1-0 win against Huddersfield in the Championship playoff final. Levi Colwell's own goal was enough to gain Forest a place in the Premier League for the first time this century. Incredible stuff in the football world, but we have to move on. There are other sports out there like cricket. Now, Hardik Pandya starred with bat and ball as the Gujarat Titans clinched the IPL title in their debut season with a 7-wicket victory over Rajasthan Royals. Pandya returned figures of 3 for 17 to restrict Rajasthan to 130 for 9 in front of a record crowd of almost 105,000 people. The captain then made 34 with the bat before Shubman Gill and David Miller contributed with 45 and 32 respectively to steer the team home in 18.1 overs. Jos Buttler finished the season as the leading run scorer with 863 runs, while Yuzvendra Chahal claimed 27 wickets in the competition. On to tennis news, Rafael Nadal set up a blockbuster French Open quarterfinal against world number 1 Novak Djokovic when he defeated Felix Auger-Aliassime in a 5-set fourth round epic. Now, Nadal triumphed over the Canadian 3-6, 6-3, 6-2, 3-6 and 6-3 in a bumper match which lasted 4 hours and 21 minutes. Early in the day, Djokovic eased past Diego Schwartzman 6-1, 6-3 and 6-3. And Alex Zverev and Carlos Alcaraz also advanced to the last 8. In the women's draw, 18-year-old Coco Gauff beat Elise Mertens 6-4 and 6-love to advance to the quarters for the second successive year. And of course, Sloane Stephens and Leda Fernandez are through to the next round as well. And some drama from the Formula One, which has become the sport of choice when it comes to drama. Sergio Perez won an incident-packed wet-dry Monaco Grand Prix after his Red Bull team outfoxed rivals Ferrari. Now, the Mexican rose from third to lead during a part of the race in wet conditions after the start was delayed for an hour after a downpour of rain. Red Bull strategy also vaulted Max Verstappen from 4th to 3rd behind Ferrari's Carlos Sainz, but ahead of the Dutchman's title rival Charles Leclerc. As a result, Verstappen extended his championship lead to 9 points. That's a wrap-up of your sporting action on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Another hour to go until we get to the next one, but let's take a peek at your weather. Uncle Tabzi Wabzi is standing by.
Thank you very much, Wasty Tasty, and a very good morning to you, Mzansi. We take a look at that weather update. Starting off here at home with eThekwini, the municipality out there has disposed of their emergency personnel. They are on standby after the deployed. The South African Weather Service has issued a stern warning on the probability of gale force winds along the coast of KZN this morning. Now, damaging winds of between 70 and 80 kilometers per hour along the coastal areas of KZN are forecast for the day, with waves of some 46 meters high predicted until noon today, resulting in very rough seas. The expected bad weather will hit Port Edward first, spreading northwards to Richards Bay and moderating from this afternoon. The Weather Service warning is for caution in places along the coast, ports as well as beaches, and fires are to be expected and to be avoided as well, as there will be a spread happening there. They expect that will happen quite quickly and result in extensive damage to infrastructure and danger to life. Now, the Weather Service predicts that the eThekwini, KwaDukuza, Mandeni, Mfolozi, Nkonyeni, Umdoni and Mlazi areas will be affected in that regard. And now we move from weather news, we move on to those beautiful sunrise pictures captured by you, our fantastic photographers. Brian Super from Table View captured this stunning shot this morning of the mountains in the distance while he completes his daily morning trail run. Beautiful. And then another regular, Verity Herbert from Riebeck West shared this stunning shot of the sky displaying beautiful hues of orange and yellow. Thank you very much for sending in those beautiful sunrise pictures. We continue to take a look at them in an hour's time. Please get them through to us on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. And now a look at your temperatures across the country, starting off with you, Polokwane. Your temperatures, your low is 7, reaching a high of 22. If you're out in Mbombela today, 9 is your minimum, reaching a maximum of 19 degrees. Pretoria, that's the capital city, 9 is your low, reaching a high of 20, with Johannesburg coming in with a low of 6, reaching a high of 18. Find yourself out in Mahike and Bokonibo Pirima 2, your minimum, reaching a maximum of 21, with Klerksdorp coming in with some sun today, 2, your low, reaching highs of 19. Kimberley, -1 is where you start off. You will peak at 16, with Bloemfontein starting off at -1, reaching a high of 16. If you're out in Richards Bay, of course, bad weather conditions expected there today. 10 is your low, reaching a high of 21, with some sun out in Pietermaritzburg. 5, reaching a maximum of 17. The warmest place to be, 12. Brace yourself, of course, and be prepared for that terrible weather today. 12, your low, reaching a high of 20, with Mthatha coming in at a low of 3, reaching a high of 16. Sun and clouds for East London. 10 is your low, reaching a high of 18, with Craddock coming in at a low of 0, reaching a max of 14. Gqeberha, 10 and 19, with George starting off at 10, peaking at 19 as well. The mother city, Cape Town, starts off at 11, reaching a high of 17, with Worcester, sun and clouds for you today. 3 is your low, reaching a high of 16. -3, reaching a high of 12, that's for Sutherland. And last, certainly not least, 1 is your low out in Uppington with a high of 19 degrees. And that's what it's looking like across the country. Hopefully that sets you up and gets you ready for a feel-good Monday.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Tubbsy. Well, you know what? It is Monday. It's a Motivational Monday. And we thought our quote for the day comes from the mind of the brilliant English author and journalist, Matt Haig. Now, Matt has been open about his personal mental health struggles and shared the lessons he's learned along the way as he navigated his way through them. And we thought we would share this one with you.
Absolutely, and it's a good precursor to our chat that we'll have with our panel a little bit later. But here's a quote. Mental health problems don't define who you are. They are something you experience. You walk in the rain and you feel the rain, but you are not the rain. Matt Haig.
That is so powerful.
Oh, yes.
You know what? So often we feel like nothing matters anymore except what our mental struggles make us feel. And this is not the case. All of that negativity we put on ourselves does not determine our realities. I love how he used that analogy of the rain.
Absolutely.
Walk through it, you feel it, but you're not the rain.
And this is a beautiful thing, and we want you to take it on. So if you or a loved one is struggling to cope with your mental health and need help, please contact SADAG and speak to a counselor. They are available between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday to Sunday, and you can call this number. You can take it down at 011 234 4837. Let's have a fantastic Monday together as our panel stands by to chat about that type of issue in the next couple of minutes in your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Only you can make my day. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso, you're live at S3, and we have to set the tone for you because no man is an island. But with the increased time spent at home, brought about by the actual pandemic, we often feel isolated from the rest of the world, and I think that you can definitely relate.
That's right. Now, you may feel worried or anxious about your finances or your job, your health, your relationship with your significant other, or those close to you, but perhaps you feel bored, frustrated, or even lonely despite being surrounded by friends and family.
And this is why today we discuss mental health as it relates to being isolated at home. Our panel consists of motivational speaker Dr. Steve Harris, a life coach, Sally Bingham, mom and influencer Babawa Katriso, as well as Lindile, who is always on our couch ready to go. In fact, this is her favorite time of the morning to do any sort of conversations. I mean, she told me earlier, Slee was like, this is the time you wake me up, call. Let's have a chat.
Oh, there we go. And of course, you at home, we encourage you to join in on this conversation. Let us know, how do you balance work and home life when working from home? Please send us your WhatsApp voice notes. That number to remember is 063 408 8863.
Okay, so we have a panel of 4 people. So we have to spread the questions. However, we can also but first and foremost, welcome. Hey, what a beautiful morning it is.
What a beautiful panel that we have.
We do have a beautiful panel. I was actually chatting to our panel, Zoe, a little earlier, and I said to them that gratitude is my caffeine. And I think that's something that I believe is so important to start to set the scene. So it's great to have each and every one of you. This is a vitally important conversation. But I think we have to start with Sally, because with regard to being at home for extended periods, you know, we found ourselves being in a place that was, of course, comfortable. However, that comfort sense, it seeps into the bones, doesn't it? It makes you feel very, very comfortable. So much so that you almost become a recluse and you believe that there's nothing out there when you have everything you need at home. What has that been in terms of an influence on somebody's idea of the world out there, idea of themselves, idea of, you know, where they should be, their motivation? How has that affected individuals being at home for extended periods?
I think we're hardwired for connection.
Yeah.
And I think being at home, as you've mentioned, we've
Yes.
become quite isolated and reclusive.
Yeah.
And I think what we also forget is we're hardwired for connection, not just with people, but with the world out there, with activities, engagement in life, and so on. And then we, as you say, we feel comfortable.
Yes.
But then we wake up one day and we think, actually, maybe this isn't so comfortable, but it's what we know. And to move out of that comfort zone into a place where we do wake up in the morning and think there's a reason for me getting out of bed in the morning.
Yes.
Sorry to mention getting out of bed in the morning.
Sleep?
Yes, sleep, all of that sort of thing. So there's a lovely term called ikigai. It's a Japanese term.
Yes, I know this.
You
yeah.
know, ikigai. You know, what do you love to do? What are you good at? What will the world pay you for? And what does the world need? And so sometimes we just need to stop, reflect, and go, okay, so what does the world need? And also make a choice, an active choice. We can stay in our sort of
It's a good
state.
position. It's my
Yeah,
position.
that state for the rest of our lives, or we can make a choice and think, this doesn't really work for me. Okay, so what choice am I going to make to change this feeling of
Yeah,
a bit like dullness around life?
very true.
And I think a lot of people are now going through that turmoil. It's a season of change, and I think also the season that we're in terms of the cold weather is helping us to really fight that, or at least for me it feels that way. But Balwa, I'm going to ask you this next question. As a mom and a career-focused woman, have you found that your home-life balance has returned to what it was pre-COVID, or have you had to make major adjustments in your household?
Yeah, so with us, we've had to make a lot of major adjustments because pre-COVID, both our kids were not in school. And for them, waking up in the morning and us having to leave work to go to work was what they saw. So now all of a sudden, we're working from home, and to them, us being at home is mainly like, oh, mom and dad are at home, so it's playtime. So we had to make a lot of adjustments by getting them into school. Both our kids now are in school.
Yeah.
So that they know that, okay, morning we wake up, go to school, and then us work from home. And we've actually also had to start working from home on a full-time basis now because we found that being at home and working from home is actually more productive than us having to drive to the office. So a lot has actually really changed, and we had to make a lot of adjustments in terms of our routine at home, getting the kids ready for school in the morning, and yeah.
You know, you spoke about routine, and routine is interesting because routine is something that really kind of, it's also a safe place if you think about it. It's a place where we can, you know, that you're moving forward and doing things. But Dr. Steve, in your capacity, because I know you're all about, when it comes to, you know, motivation, it's important to fuel yourself with the right type of, you know, self-talk. But sometimes we get to a place where we actually fool ourselves into believing that we are in a healthy holding pattern while we're at home. What are some of the pitfalls when it comes to us talking to ourselves, thinking that I'm at home, I'm not bothering anybody, the world should be fine with me being here alone or in this little holding pattern of mine?
That's a good question. Which is my teleprompter?
It's me. I'm going to tell you what to say.
I won't. This is the thing that...
Speak from the heart. I know you can. Yeah, speak. Okay. That's what we do.
Look, I'm going to speak from a mental toughness perspective.
Yes.
That is the kind of knee-jerk space I try to occupy.
Yeah.
Which is you take yourself wherever you go. You know, wherever you are, if you've got a healthy mindset,
yes,
doesn't matter whether at home, on a business trip, or wherever you are, you will engage in healthy activities. You'll eat properly, you'll exercise in your bedroom if there's nowhere else. So I don't know if we should indulge that feeling that now I'm at home, I can be slap. You know, you're the same person.
Yes.
So if you're claiming you're healthy and you have healthy habits, you'll do it everywhere. It's not easy, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but to exercise properly, to be decent to others, to eat decently or properly is just, you take yourself wherever you go. You move towards thriving. You try and get away from this failing, surviving mindset. And it's just, it becomes instinctive with you if you developed your mental toughness.
Yeah.
And it's not some sort of, you know, you're going to, some sort of hunter-gatherer mental toughness. You just know that, hang on, there's the right thing to do here. I must stay healthy and not become a burden to others. So that's...
Love it. There was no teleprompter for that, by the way.
No, there was.
Perfect.
There was.
Slee, how important is it for us to create those boundaries when it comes to our work and our home life, especially for families that are now working full-time from home? And what impact does it have if if those boundaries aren't in place on your mental health?
Yeah.
I think it's crucially important to be able to develop those boundaries, because really it's what holds you in place. It's what gives you a sense of structure and continuity. So it's very important to know, when does work begin, when does work end, when does my personal life begin and end. But there has been a lot of, blurring of boundaries that's happened when people have worked from home, and it can be extremely difficult. So when there is a blurring, I mean, you see things like, home life then becomes a distraction to your work life, because now you think about the dishes in the kitchen, the laundry that's not done, and then under normal work circumstances, you wouldn't be. You'd be physically in a different environment and doing something else. So it's very important to create those boundaries and maintain them. I think in the absence of boundaries, work can become very tedious, because there can be that blurring, and you can be so distracted and overwhelmed with everything that's going on around you.
Okay.
This is great. This was a good intro to the discussion, but if you have any questions, remember 06340888863 if you've got any questions. But we're going to try and flush out some of those interesting poor mental health choices we make at home with our panel of excellent individuals and experts. So if you have any questions, throw it to the WhatsApp line, and we'll be very happy to answer it on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Get those messages through, and that conversation will continue all throughout the morning. Now, let's zone in on this. 11.3 million people in the country, in South Africa, they face the threat of hunger every day. And now, while 1/3 of the country's food produce ends up in landfills, COVID-19 has further exacerbated the situation, leaving millions of people vulnerable. Now, for many years, Woolworths has been working to create a sustainable impact to alleviate hunger in South Africa, because they believe that food security is a fundamental human need, and a lack thereof exposes and really does highlight systemic inequality. Now, their alignment with the UN Sustainable Development Goal 2 of #ZeroHungerFuture by 2030 is therefore a further expression of their commitment to inclusive justice with a lasting impact. Watch this.
As a brand that wants to make a positive impact, we as Woolies are totally committed to reducing hunger by 2030 in our South African context. As Woolies, we're a brand that cares. For the past 30 years, we've been donating surplus food to communities. Last year alone, we donated about 730 million rands worth of surplus food to 1,400 charity organizations across the country.
At Woolworths Pall Mall, we deeply care for the community in which we trade, and to this end, we provide surplus food to a number of registered non-profit organizations situated within our community on a weekly basis.
House Andrew Murray Child and Youth Care Centre cares for 155 children between the ages of 1 and 18 years old. We provide service to these children through psychological, spiritual, physical needs of these children. We are based in the Wellington area, and our children comes from all over the Boerland and Cape Metropole area. The social challenges at House Andrew Murray is poverty, child abuse, addiction, and unemployment, and that's the reason why the children are placed into our care.
House Andrew Murray, situated in Wellington, receives surplus food from us once a week.
In line with our obsession to quality, the food that we donate to these charity organizations might have passed their sell-by date, but they are still very much in line with their use-by date. This way we ensure that the food that we donate is fit for human consumption.
Pall Mall makes a positive impact in giving food to 155 children. For the past year, we also saved 160,000 rand from surplus foods from Woolworths. So we have like a monthly cash of 28,000 rand that we can use. That money we can use for therapeutic development, learnership programs, spiritual development, winter school clothes, and toiletries for our children.
We understand, however, that reducing hunger by 2030 is a complex task. As a result, there is no real silver bullet that is going to make that difference. We've taken a 4-tiered approach to making that change. The first one being really making food available right now to the communities in which we serve. The second tier really relates to growing and making food available for communities in partnership with organizations like Living Soil. The third tier is focused really on growing and making food available to communities. Through enterprise development partners, we equip and we transfer skills to these partners. So our fourth tier is really about food for the future. Here we work with suppliers as part of our Farming for the Future initiative to ensure that they're using sustainable farming methods that are going to secure food for our future.
Ah, what a humbling experience. Thank you so much, Woolworths, for the difference that you are making every single day by fighting the fight against hunger. Now, remember, you can also make a difference. All you need to do is sign up for a My School, My Village, My Planet program card and make House Andrew Murray your beneficiary. Let's all make a positive impact and work towards a zero hunger future.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso live on S3. I know you're wondering, what are you talking about, Carl? Well, we're back to our discussion. It's about mental health in the home and featuring our panel of esteemed experts. Now, let me tell you, Dr. Steve Harris is here. Without a teleprompter, he knows exactly what to say. Freestyling for us. We've got Babalwa Kagiso as well, Sally Bingham, and then, of course, our resident clinical psychologist, Slindile Mbata, to get you ready for this particular conversation. Earlier, we explored some of the negative effects of extended periods at home on our well-being, as we delve a little deeper into that discussion now by focusing on our relationships and relationship patterns with our family and significant others in the home. We encourage you at home to join the discussion and share your thoughts, your experiences, maybe questions as well. As always, we have a WhatsApp line number for you, 063 408 8863, as we continue with our panel of experts. Now, let's go go straight in to when it comes to relationships in the home. These have been dynamic. They've been changed. They've been edited by the experience. It happens to everybody. If you think about trying to keep your family mentally fit, and Babal, I actually want to start with you with regard to your family unit. You know, the well-being that you have to help support, some of the emotional responsibility here and there that you have to keep up where somebody is falling short a little bit. This is all within the scope of your skill set, but of course your responsibility in the home. How has that been for you to try and make sure that the relationships between, you know, significant other and kids has that been able to, how have you been able to actually build the scaffolding around that to try and make sure it stays steady?
I'm not going to lie, it really has been very challenging.
Yes.
Being a mom, having to be like present and also doing social media content creation is not like another job where you have a 9 to 5, you wake up in the morning, you leave and go home to work.
Yeah.
Being a social media content creator means that like social media doesn't close. It doesn't shut down. Like you're always on the go, you're always working.
Yeah.
So it's really been a challenge in terms of finding the balance between I'm a mom here at home, I'm a wife as well as an employee and an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So it has to be, like it took me some time in finding what is the right way of managing all the different roles. Like also just planning everything, making sure that I have time for my kids, I have time for my husband, I have time for work, and I have time for myself.
Yes.
So for me, a very important thing for me to be able to play all of those roles was to be able to have time for myself to say, I'm actually really tired, and you can't really pour out of an empty cup. So just managing time and planning time, like scheduling everything that we do around the family. Our diary has been something that has been super helpful for us, like in terms of even doing social activities. I'll put it in my husband's diary to say, okay, so Sunday is the whole day that we're spending with the kids. Monday, we're attending an event.
Nice.
So what's really helped me is just having a balance throughout everything and making sure that I use like the diary to plan even spending time with the kids and also spending time with each other as well as spending time by myself.
So that's, I love that idea. Like, you know, I know it sounds like scheduling a family, it sounds so cold, but sometimes with everything that you're juggling, you know, you have to as well.
Yeah.
Sally, I want to go to you for a second because, you know, you mentioned, Babal, around, you know, you still have time for your husband. And while you're being all these roles, there's still a relationship, a romance to keep up with regard to your significant other. So how do we, you know, mitigate some of the factors around the relationship changing to a point where you're just trying to keep the kids ready, steady? But what about that fire between you and your partner? What about that initial sort of thing that got you together? You know, sometimes it's actually very, very easy to lose sight of why the two of you are in each other's lives because you're busy trying to keep up an entire household. How do we navigate that?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is communication, and two tips around that is actually stopping to think, what am I feeling?
Yeah.
And then being, in a sense, brave enough to be honest about how you are feeling.
Yes.
And when we're having chats that maybe there's a frustration or irritation around something, to be able to express from the I position, not, you drove me crazy, you never wash up the dishes, you know, I'm always doing this. So it just puts people in the defensive position.
Yeah.
But rather to say, I feel, and to identify your feelings. And I think honesty in communication, which takes courage.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. And I think just to add to that is just to be, I think this is quite useful. The Gottman Institute, Julie and John Gottman, have done some research into what are the predictors of failed relationships. And I think this goes for any relationship, but they particularly look at partnerships.
Yes.
And the one is contempt. And the opposite of contempt is really kind of being kind to one another. The other is criticism. And these are questions we could almost ask ourselves. How critical am I versus how much do I appreciate my partner?
Yes.
You know, how much contempt? You know, that like, oh, that sort of a look, you know, it's sort of talking down to somebody. Am I doing that? Or am I looking for what is good and being kind? The other thing is defensiveness.
Yeah.
I asked you to take out the rubbish and you didn't take out the rubbish.
Yes.
And then you go, oh, well, there were a whole lot of reasons why, last night I cleaned up the kitchen and, I had to read the stories to the kids and whatever. So that's
Yeah.
defensiveness, which breaks down relationships rather than taking responsibility. And I think the fourth thing is, in terms of maintaining our relationship, is not stonewalling. That giving somebody the silent treatment.
Yeah.
But rather actually figuring out what's going on for me. And in a healthy way, say, again, going into the eye and being honest, saying what's going on for you and trying to communicate rather than backing off.
Communication in that relationship it's important. It's said all the time. However, we will get back to this conversation with Dr. Stephen Slee as well with regard to how we can actually nourish relationships in the home. But we also have to nourish our bodies, which is so important. This is why we got a bit of a fitness segment for you. Of course, Zoe is standing by with our resident fitness expert. It's going to get sweaty.
Oh, Wasty, I'm not just standing by, I'm about to hop by because rebounding is a type of aerobic exercise that is performed while jumping on a mini trampoline. Now, jumps can be fast, it can be slow, it can be mixed with a bit of rest or even aerobic stepping. Now, rebounding can help work with the muscles in the legs, increase your endurance and strengthen your bones, among just a number of other things. And there are so many great benefits to it. So today, we're about to show you exactly how this type of exercise works, and we have personal trainer Robin Lee Erasmus to show us exactly how to do it. I'm excited to bounce. You know how often I see these and I just don't have the courage to hop on one?
Oh yes, it's so much fun. It's like being a child on a trampoline.
Yes, and you get a workout in, so it's a win-win.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. So we're going to start with our legs. We're going to do a leg workout first. We're going to go onto the trampoline. First one. Keep the knees real low, and you're going to open up the knees. Open, close, and that's basically what it is. Get the arms involved.
Okay, so she's going fast and she's going high.
Yes, and you want to plant the heels in the ground.
There we go.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm going to give this a try. I'm not going to be as fast as you. So these are essentially like jumping squats, right?
Yes, it is.
See, I'm not as fast as Robin, but I'll get there. Am I doing it correctly?
Yes, you are. You want to keep the heels planted into the trampoline so that it doesn't hurt too much. There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Okay. Our next exercise, one leg on. So we're going to be working the leg that is on. This one a bit of a relax, but we're going to be working it as well. So you're just going to drive it up. And up. You want to keep the core engaged for balance as well. We're going to go to the other side and perform the same one on the other side.
Okay. So you want to get a nice high jump in it.
Here we go.
When your knee is going really, really high. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I'm not as poised as Robin.
Here we go.
I'm just trying not to twist the ankle. This is great because you said keep the core engaged.
Yes.
Balance is important, something I lack, and this is so incredible to just really focus on all of those core compartments.
Yes. And then we're going to go to the other side.
This is an interesting one.
Workout,
Listen,
eh?
Robin is here for 3 segments. This is one of 3. Okay. I used to go better at fitness, so this is different.
And you want to perform each exercise for at least 30 seconds. Take a rest in between for 10 seconds and move on to the next one, 30 seconds again.
There we go. Okay, and we're going to do our third leg focused workout.
Yes. So the next one is actually faster than the 2 we did. So you just want to go down, and we're going to do sprints. So it's just a fast sprint. Once again, engage the core, keep the hands moving, and raise the knees. There we go.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to try it. I'll try it.
Just give it a try.
I'm not
as hard as it looks.
Okay, here we go.
Keep it nice
I feel like
and
I need
low.
a countdown.
3, 2, 1, and let's go. There we go.
I'm not
gonna
as
feel the
fast as
burning the
Robin.
thighs.
It is burning. And I'll just do this, a gentle little run.
Robin, it's so great to have you here. I love that we're incorporating the Rebound trampoline to really just take our workout to that next level. Thank you for joining us. We are back with round 2 a little bit later. We focused on legs. What can we look forward to later?
We're going to do core later.
Okay, well, listen, you're going to want to stick around for that because it's going to get interesting.
Only you can make my day.
1 in 2 healthy South African women suffer from iron deficiency. Speak to your healthcare professional about getting tested and treated for iron deficiency. Brought to you by FerryMed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. We're back to our discussion about mental health in the home, a vitally important subject, featuring our panel of experts. We've got Dr. Steve here, Babal was here, Sally's here, as well as our resident clinical psychologist, Aslindile Mbata. Our experts are now standing by with ways we can be a bit more mindful and peace-oriented in the home, which is vitally important. Of course, you have a chance to message us with a voice note. Please do so, 063-408-8863. In fact, we've got a voice note now for our panel as we speak. Aisha, please take a listen, panel, to what Aisha has to say.
Morning, Expresso. So it's been really hard. My anxiety has gotten out of hand, so much so that I had to see my doctor. But I took my life back by eating better, working out, and then also learning to deal with my emotions. But it's still a work in progress.
So that's from Aisha. Aisha, thank you so much for your honesty there. I think it's so important for us to use our vulnerability as a communication language as well, which is so important. Let's go to the clinical psychologist on the panel, Slindile. If you heard what Aisha had to say there, you can still hear that the anxiety, it's present, but it's managed. For anybody who gets to, these spaces within the home, often it's not easy for you to actually communicate to your family what's going on when you are supposed to be the one that is sort of putting everything together. How do you navigate that?
Yeah, well, I think it can be difficult, like you said. But, I mean, the most important thing is to recognize that, well, we're all just human beings. Yes. I think we're all going to experience some difficulty sooner or later, about, whatever the issue might be. So I think, for one, just communicating, as we've been mentioning, just quite honestly about where it is that you're at, what it is that you're feeling, and possibly how it is that your family can assist in actually, helping to alleviate some of the anxieties that you have. But yeah, reaching out for professional help is very, very important. Aisha did mention that she went to a doctor,
yes,
to get some help for her anxiety. But there's a lot of mental health professionals around, who can actually assist in terms of managing one's anxiety, in terms of how to communicate if you're fearful of communicating around your anxiety, and also really understanding what is happening in your body, because sometimes we might think that we're still okay, and we can't read the signs. So you need to understand that sometimes what your body is doing is showing you where your mind is at as well. So that mind-body connection is crucially important. So I think just paying attention to that, what my body is doing, what my mindset is, the connection between the two, and how can I communicate with my family.
Talking about communication, I think this segues beautifully to men. Gentlemen, when it comes to feelings and emotions, and you are part of a household unit, there's this archaic understanding that men need to be strong all the time. And I'd like to dump all of those rumors and those myths around that with you, Dr. Steve. When it comes to communicating your emotions in a home where you're supposed to be the stronger individual there, how do we break down those walls for any person who's watching, especially a male person, thinking that they have to be strong all the time, unable to get out of themselves and say that I need help, I'm struggling, I'm feeling weak? How do we start talking about that as men, specifically?
Most men have been socialized into that condition that you have. And it's the awareness that you're socialized.
Yes.
It's not genetic or prescribed. And I guess it's the word metacognition. The ability to ask yourself, why do I think what I think? Why do I believe what I believe? Why do I believe I must be this Will Smith and smack Chris Rock?
Yeah.
You know, why? And that'll probably lessen the stressor. The stress response stays the same for males and females.
Yes.
The anxiety, the depression. Where males have a lead on it is suicide, because it has that effect on them. They seem to think, well, because I'm the breadwinner, I'm the this, I must take myself out. And it's so tragic.
It is.
At the end of the day, I don't want to bring a sad note to it, but that's the reality we faced. Suicide is far too high, particularly among men.
Yeah.
So you're right. They take on the socially prescribed role.
And it's a role that shouldn't even exist.
Exactly.
You can talk about your feelings, your emotions.
Yeah.
I think that your vulnerability, you're actually sitting on your strength if you think about it. So please just, start talking. I know it says, easier said than done, but your family, they are around you and they will support you. Thank you for your support. You've sent through another message that has come through, and Rukeya has sent this. So let me just read this out to you. Rukeya says, good morning. I really love working from home. I start early in the morning, around about 6. Then at 6, I get the kids done. Then I start work at 8 again. I will work until 11, start cleaning, cooking while I'm working. Once I take a break, I finish the food. When I'm done by 4, I can relax, all my chores done as well. I'm very disciplined. I can keep my mom life and my work life separated. Thank you, Rukeya. You are definitely a vision of somebody who's got the balance going. And as Babala mentioned earlier, there seems to be good scheduling within your life as well. But I think just the last thought from your side, Sally, just with regards to when these moments happen, when you are feeling very vulnerable at home. You're feeling like you need some room, some breathing room, some space from the people around you that you are supposed to be around all the time because you love them. How do we get out of that and actually say, I need a break, I need to let off some steam, I need some help?
I think it's just doing just that. It's stopping and realizing that you do have needs and figuring out what is the thing that makes you kind of get a little bit excited about life, what brings you alive.
Yes.
And that'll be different for all of us. And then I think we've talked about vulnerability and courage. It's being courageous enough to say, this is what I need. And in fact, to remind ourselves that when we do have needs, if we don't express them and we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be able to take care of the people around us long term. And that's what's important. We sometimes think, oh, it's a bit selfish to take care of my needs or to go and have time on my own or go for a walk with a friend, whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, when we don't do that, we don't have anything else. We eventually sort of are running on empty and we have nothing more to give. So just an encouragement to be kind to ourselves and to make time for feeding our souls. And we all know what that thing is for us. And if we've forgotten, then to stop and think, okay, so what were the things that I used to do that were like fun, that I sort of felt alive after doing? Yeah.
Beautiful. To the panel, Babalwa, Dr. Steve, Sally, and Slee, thank you so much for this vitally important conversation around mental health in the home. Remember, any other comments, send it through the Facebook page as well as our WhatsApp line. But thank you for listening. And remember, if you are feeling something, speak about it. You're not alone.
Thank you very much, team. So now that we've fed our souls, it's time to feed our bellies. And if the weather is a bit too gloomy for you to enjoy your favorite taco, then simply transform it into a hearty, classic mayo taco casserole that will please everyone around the dinner table. Jenny Morris, of course, she's our tested, tried, and loved chef who's going to be helping us make this classic in the kitchen. What you're going to really like about this one, it really is all about the mayo. Mayo is the name of the game. You're going to see all of that tanginess coming through. You're going to see all the different levels and how we combine them to make such incredible magic. And you can be part of it by going on expressoshow.com if you want to get your hands on the recipe. Jenny from the block.
Hello, my sweet honey, darling.
You are my sweetheart, darling. How are you doing?
You're very sweet to me, you know. I love it.
Always, always. You've got to be sweet to those who feed you. And then
I knew it was covered by the beast.
I kid. No, it's definitely not just about the food. I mean, that's part of it, but it's definitely because I do just adore you. Jenny, this is really cool, right?
This is wonderful.
Winter.
You know what I love about this is the lovely little individual servings. And it's nice kiddie size. And in fact, these are lovely for winter parties. You know, when you have people around.
Yes.
And you can have all the different things on the table. And
so this is perfect for when you really do want to give the braai a little bit of a break, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. Okay, so what you're doing there is you've already got some onions, which you've done what with?
Yes. What I've done is I've just cooked them down a little bit because I want to release all that lovely sweetness and caramelization.
Yeah.
And then over here on the side, I'm going to just add my garlic and my spices.
Why is it going on the side?
Just because I can.
Oh, I mean, and you won't be told otherwise.
I won't be told otherwise.
You will not be told otherwise. Yeah.
And can you smell they're starting to release beautifully? And I'm going to cook my mince into this beautiful spice.
Okay, I see why you did that. It's so that it combines really smoothly. But of course, the aromas and the flavors do come through. So while you're doing that, Jenny, I'm going to be making a dip for us, okay? So what I'm doing...
Impressed.
Yeah, you'll be very impressed. Some parsley goes in. Parsley going in. Some sour cream going in.
Yummy, yum.
You already know it's a good time. When you get sour cream, it's one of my favorite things. We've got some lemon juice going in there. Love that. As well as hot sauce. I know that hot sauce is a favour of yours.
I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
And you know, to be so, if you run out of sour cream at home and you've just got like cream, you can always just add a little bit of vinegar or some lemon juice.
Can you make your own?
Of course you can.
Just like that?
Just like
that. I love that. Okay, cool. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting 4 scoops of our mayo in there, which is really great.
And it's so classic. It's so fabulous
so
and
classic.
tangy.
It's a classic. It's our Clover Classic mayonnaise, which has a range of tangy mayonnaise that comes in 3 different levels, okay? Levels of tanginess you can choose from, mild, medium, and strong, and you can use any of it to suit your own specific personal preference. It's versatile to use as, of course, it will definitely enhance the flavors, bringing you tasty, mouth-watering food. That's what we want. And for this recipe, we're using our Clover Classic Mayo #1 for that mild tanginess to give this dish a delicious, mild, creamy taste. And you're going to see it come together so nicely.
Well, I've already put something together nicely. That's going to cook. I've already made some up front. So while you are stirring the pot, as you do, I'm going to just pop these little tortillas. Look at the size. Isn't it too gorgeous,
They're so cute.
darling?
I love
lovely,
that.
Lovely.
Love that.
So I'm going to put some filling down. Keep stirring, sweetheart. You have to multitask.
Okay,
okay. You've got to be like a girl.
I suppose with this sort of recipe, it's one of those, right? You make so quickly. And if I said, for example, like I said, this is the perfect sort of braai replacement, there's no time when you're hosting.
Absolutely. So you can have layers. Look at that. And then it's just going to go in the oven on 180 just for a little bit to melt that cheese up nicely.
Wow, I've never seen it be done like this with layers and all of the goodness coming through at the top.
I love it.
Okay, this is going to be a good one. Now with Clover Classic, you stand a chance to win your share of R500,000 in prizes. Yes, to enter, all you need to do is buy any Clover Classic custard, dairy snack or fat spread or mayonnaise, and then WhatsApp the till slip, okay, to 074 909 0000. You can find those T's and C's on clover.co.za. It's all about that classic, timeless taste. And Jenny, you have definitely done that. It looks so good. What do you think of the sauce or the dip?
I think the sauce looks absolutely fabulous, and I'm going to be your mama now, and I'm going to feed you. So we're going to just pop some of this over the top for you. Just have a look at that.
Creaminess.
And then a little bit of salad. Okay. Just over here. You can use any lettuce. I like this little kind of textured cross or a little
that's
gemmy
it. It
one.
works so perfectly.
Yes.
Well, if you want the recipe, go on to expressoshow.com. We've got it there, all of the ingredients and a step-by-step guide of how to make this recipe come to life in your home. Jenny, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank
you
you.
want some more cheese on
I
that?
really do adore you.
I love you more.
French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy, the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. Welcome back. It's time for us to touch with those morning headlines at 7 o'clock. Here's Tabiso.
Thank you very much, Zoe. A look at your news headlines. Just after 7 o'clock, the Department of Social Development has launched a week-long child protection campaign in Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape. Now, this year, the focus will be on teenage pregnancy, which saw a spike during the COVID-19 period. The National Child Protection Week is observed in South Africa annually to raise awareness about the rights of children. Deputy Minister of Social Development, Henrietta Bogopane Zulu, says that adult men are mainly responsible for teenage pregnancies. She said, and I quote, "I call them the 4 M's, mature, mobile men with money. They're my problem." Close quote. Staying here in South Africa, the government yesterday received humanitarian aid from Qatar to help it deal with the devastation caused by floods in KwaZulu-Natal. The aid includes food, clothing, and medical supplies. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, International Relations Minister Naledi Pandor, Social Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu, and KZN Premier Sihle Zikalala were at King Shaka International Airport to receive the humanitarian aid. Dlamini-Zuma praised Qatar for the aid, and we know that as it stands, more than 7,000 people are expected to benefit from Qatar's contributions of food and clothing. In international headlines, the U.S. Justice Department will investigate the police response to the mass shooting at a school in Uvalde in Texas, which 19 children and 2 teachers died. Public anger is growing after it emerged that officers waited for some 40 minutes in the hallway because they didn't believe it was an active shooter situation, while children were trapped with the shooter making desperate 911 calls. And the gunman's rampage lasted for over an hour, and police found as many as 1,657 rounds of ammunition in his possession after he was fatally wounded. Nigerian police have launched an investigation after 31 people died in a stampede in the southern city of Port Harcourt. It happened at a sports field on Saturday morning where members of the King's Assembly Church were distributing food to the needy, some of whom had waited there overnight. It's reported that the crowd became uncontrollable and organizers were unable to calm the situation. Many of those who died were women and children, and witnesses said that there were frantic pushing situations and shoving, as well as lots of commotion where many people were trampled underfoot. Now, feel-good news coming your way. A New Zealand grandmother has found a way to be the change she wishes to see in the world. Listen to this one. 63-year-old Rosemary Penwarden has converted an old Honda into an electric vehicle that she charges with home solar panels. She said that she wanted to show the oil companies they're not needed, and she removed the combustion engine and installed a new gearbox and electric engine. She also added 24 batteries to the front and 56 to the trunk. The car can travel 120 kilometers before it has to be charged, and Penwarden did the work herself, the entire project costing her $24,000. That's around 244,000 Rand. The average price for a new electric vehicle in February out in New Zealand was around $64,685, which is around 662,000 Rand. And Penwarden said that she expected her self-made car to pay for itself eventually. She used to spend as much as around 1,000 Rand a week on gas, and she said that her main aim was to help stop the biggest polluters as soon as possible. And she added, I quote, "Nothing that we can do as individuals, I think, matters quite as much as that." That's where we leave it for now. Something to think about. Maybe go and convert your own vehicle ahead of the petrol price increase today. Who knows? Here is Carl with a look at your sport.
Thank you, Uncle Tubbsy Wubsy. Let's take a look at the sporting action, and starting off with news that brings me so much joy. Real Madrid were crowned Champions League winners for a record-extending 14th time after beating Liverpool 1-0 in the final in Paris. Vinicius Jr. scored the winning goal in the 59th minute, while Madrid goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois made a record 9 saves in a man-of-the-match performance. Back home, Mamelodi Sundowns won the Nedbank Cup after beating Marumo Gallants 2-1 in extra time to complete a domestic treble, and yesterday Nottingham Forest clinched promotion to the Premier League for the first time in 23 years with a 1-0 win against Huddersfield in the Championship playoff final. Levi Colwell's own goal was enough to gain Forest a place in the Premier League for the first time in this century. Now on to some cricket news. Hardik Pandya starred with the bat and ball as the Gujarat Titans clinched the IPL title in their debut season with a 7-wicket victory over the Rajasthan Royals. Now Pandya returned figures of 3 for 17 to restrict Rajasthan to 130 for 9 in front of a record crowd of almost 105,000 people. The captain then made 34 with the bat before Shubman Gill and David Miller contributed 45 and 32 respectively to steer the team home in 18.1 overs. Jos Buttler finished the season as the leading run scorer with 863 runs, while Yuzvendra Chahal claimed 27 wickets in the competition. On to tennis news. Rafael Nadal set up a blockbuster French Open quarterfinal that we just really wanted. That's against world number 1 Novak Djokovic, when he defeated Felix Auger-Aliassime in a 5-set fourth-round epic. And Nadal triumphed over the Canadian 3-6, 6-3, 6-2, 3-6 and 6-3 in a match which lasted 4 hours and 21 minutes. Early in the day, Djokovic eased past Diego Schwartzman 6-1, 6-3 and 6-3. Alex Zverev and Carlos Alcaraz also advanced to the last 8. In the women's draw, 18-year-old Coco Gauff beat Elise Mertens 6-4 and 6-love to advance to the quarters for the second successive year. Sloane Stephens and Leila Fernandez are through to the next round as well. And on to the drama-filled Formula One. Sergio Perez won an incident-impacted wet-dry Monaco Grand Prix after his Red Bull team outfoxed rivals Ferrari. The Mexican rose from third to lead during a part of the race in the wet conditions after the start was delayed for an hour after a downpour of rain. Red Bull's strategy also vaulted Max Verstappen from 4th to 3rd behind Ferrari's Carlos Sainz, but ahead of the Dutchman's title rival Charles Leclerc. As a result, Verstappen extended his championship lead to 9 points. We'll unpack all of the sporting action for you, including the Champions League and the Formula One for you, with our new panel of sporting experts a little bit later on your Feel Good Breakfast show. But for now, let's take a peek at the weather. Zoe is standing by.
Thank you, Wasty. Well, some good news for the environment. After a massive operation, the Algoa Bay oil spill has been successfully contained and most of it cleaned up before it could be spread to beaches or nearby islands. The SA Maritime Safety Authority has said the spill occurred when oil was being transferred on Monday between the MT Lefkas and the Umnenga II, both vessels owned by Minerva Bunkering. Algoa Bay stretches from Gqeberha through the deep waters port and the Cape Padrone. Now, it's part of the SA's National Parks' Addo Marine Protected Area and includes clusters of small islands. There was concern that the oil could spread to nearby beaches and damage feeding grounds for the marine life. Well, we are certainly happy for that little bit of news. And from your environmental news, we now turn our attention to your sunrise views. Nigel Riley from Fishhook kicks us off for our 7 a.m. update with this stunning shot of the sun peeking through the clouds. As the sky is filled, it looks like a screensaver. And then we have Raymond Kutsia from Pretoria, who captured this lovely silhouetted image, catching a great lens flare from the sun. Absolutely beautiful. Well, if you have a sunrise photo that you'd love to share with us, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page. Let's look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 7 and a high of 22 can be expected. If you're in Mbombela, 9's your low, 19 your high. Pretoria, sunny, 9 with a high of 20. Johannesburg, 6, reaching a high of 18. Mahikeng, 2, 21. Klerksdorp, 2 with a high of 19. Kimberley, a cool start of -1 with a high of 16 for today. Bloemfontein, your cool start is -4 and your high is 16. Richards Bay, 10, 21. Pietermaritzburg, 5, 17. If you're in Durban, a sunny day ahead with 12 as your low, 20 your high. Mthatha, 3, reaching a high of 16. East London, 10, 18. Cradock, a cool 0 as a low, 14 is your high. Gqeberha, 10, reaching a high of 19. George, 10, also a high of 19. Cape Town, slightly cooler, 11's your low, 17 your high. Worcester, 3 with a high of 16. Sutherland, -3 with a high of 12 for today. And if you're in Uppington, a sunny day ahead, but still a cool one, a low of 1, a high of 19. Well, that's where I leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast show. We'll have another update for you at 8 o'clock.
Thanks a lot, Zoe, and I can tell you that the entertainment continues. I will say that sporting action this weekend has been remarkable for some in the Champions League, as well as the Formula One. So much drama in Monaco. If you want to get that unpacked for you, Mike Pedro and our other guest, Morgan Newman from Good Hope FM, will be chatting to you about all of the drama of the sport over the weekend. So stay with us to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso.
It's time to meet one of our Tropica Island of Treasure All-Stars.
I am Caroline van Jaarsveld. I'm a singer and a songwriter and a mom. The hardest thing is training my heart. I'm a very, very involved mom. I think like most moms, the kids are very clingy to me. They're very, very used to having me around. But also the kids wanted me to do this, so I'm also doing it for them. I'm gonna miss them. Mommy loves you. I'm doing this for you. En hopelijk as ek wen, gaan ek julle op 'n lekker vakansie vat en vir julle baie mooi klere koop. I have to say I have a very competitive nature, and obviously I didn't win the first time around, so I want to go and see if I can maybe better myself and grab the million. I'm definitely watching out for Jonathan. Being the games master of our season is obviously playing with my mind a bit because he knows the games. I'm looking for someone that's got a good memory, that can build puzzles, that's also got that drive in them, you know, to really want to win. But I'm looking forward, you know, it's competition, it's game on. I'm trying to get really strong for this game. So I don't like going to the gym every day, but now I have to train hard, so it's hard work, but I guess it's going to pay off.
Well done. Kathleen, we believe in you. I believe in you. You really worked hard for this every single day. You can do this. Go on, Kathleen.
Yes, guys, get you on the island, eh?
Want to compete with this awesome all-star? Then audition for Tropica Island of Treasure Season 10. Send your name to our WhatsApp and follow the link, or upload your audition video on socials, tagging @mytropica and #Tropica for your chance to get a spot on the island. Buy a Tropica today and it could be you. Tropica, nothing smoother.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. Yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso. We're live at the start of a brand new week. And this morning, we're joined in studio by Naima, a Zambian singer, songwriter, and DJ, okay, whose sound can be described as Afrocentric pop. Some describe it as R&B. You can even describe it as Afrobeat and trap soul. It's a whole lot, okay, but it will all come together nicely when you hear her sing on our Expresso stage. Now, she's got a brand new EP out. It's called Gold Digger. And in fact, before we even get into any chats, here's a taste of her music.
Forget about the fight that we just had and call up my ex. I'm on to the next. Got the bad girl energy, all black. I just caught that, and I'm sipping on Hennessy. No one can mess with my vibe. No, I can let you do it. You and me should be through. There's nothing you can do to make it right. But don't get it confused, 'cause I still think of you, and I just want you here tonight. I can't get you off my mind. Get you off my mind.
Hey, the combos are communicating. All of those sounds coming together so beautifully. Everybody, please, let's give a warm Expresso welcome to Naima. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Naima. That's what I'm talking about. What a sound.
Thank you, Tabiso.
Okay, so it's been a long time coming. I know that in 2015 you had your sort of debut single. It was called Long Time.
Yes.
And since then, we've all been wondering, where's this girl coming from? Who's that girl? Na, 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 na. And it's you. You are the girl. But let's talk about your journey. Where did it all begin for Naima?
Wow, it all began in Zambia. I'm a Zambian based in South Africa. So that's where my journey began until I moved to South Africa to basically continue my studies as a teenager. And I flourished into this young performer who just loved music and loved performing. Did my first single in 2015, released that independently. And then from there, it just kind of generated more and more opportunities to work with established artists like DJ Ganyani.
I believe DJ Ganyani is one of them. Rouge as as
Yes,
well. Was it
yes.
Fifi Cooper as well in the mix that you've had a
Yes.
chance to collaborate with? That must say a lot to you. I mean, I suppose if you're starting your own music career in 2015 as an independent artist, to find yourself in those spaces can't be easy. How did you get there?
Persistence. I'm a very persistent person, and once I set my mind on something, I do everything in my power to achieve it. Hence the title of my EP, Gold Digger. So you might hear gold digger, but no, it's actually goals. Like, you know, when you're aspiring to achieve goals. Yes.
Because you're digging goals.
Exactly.
Because you're setting those goals and then digging them.
Exactly.
I love a miner. I love a mining queen.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the fact that you are originally from Zambia and you live in Johannesburg. So I believe you travel quite a lot between, Joburg and Zambia.
I do.
That must influence the sound of your music a lot, because Zambian music and the styles that we hear there is different to what you hear in South Africa or in Joburg.
Definitely.
That amalgamation must be quite something.
Definitely.
Has it been that way for you?
It has, and also a lot of my earlier influences, like I think we tend to ignore our earliest influences as musicians and what we used to listen to when we were younger growing up. But a lot of my earliest influences were R&B, dancehall, and Afrobeat. So that kind of gave me this fused sound that you hear today.
I love that. A fused sound, yes, without a doubt. And the fact that you've had the chance to collaborate with such incredible artists, you must have had so many different highlights along the way. What would you say stands out for you? Would you say it's the fact that you've had to collaborate with such different artists each time and had to redefine your sound? Or is it the fact that you've been able to create your sound yourself and plugged it into their world?
I think my biggest highlight, Tabiso, has just been evolving into the artist I am and cultivating what I imagine in my mind and making that a reality. So that is, every single time I make a new song, that is a highlight. And also transitioning into the different fields, like I DJ Deep House, and I'm a presenter as well. I've also done countless of hosting gigs.
Yes.
So I think the biggest highlight of my whole journey was just not imagining that I could have done what I'm doing currently, because I never imagined I'd be a DJ, you know, and or host a TV show, or even a host, like I recently hosted the Jameson Connects event in Zambia, which was a huge deal.
All of those things, you never imagined you'd do them, but you actually just went out and did them. Naima, you're a true inspiration. We're very excited to have you here. Gold Digger is out. It's a brand new EP, and this is the queen that you need to be knowing. Naima, it's going to be so much fun on the Expresso stage. Connect with us, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3.
I am looking forward to performances from that incredible talent, but of course, the Tropica Island of Treasure, Season 10. It's back with an all-star season, and of course, it's your time to audition. Now, before we get into that, as you know, we hosted some live auditions at the Pavilion Shopping Centre out in Durban this past weekend, and I think that Uncle Tabsi Wabsi needs to come and join me, please, because I want to know a bit more. Tabs, come through here.
Say less.
Yes, say less. Say less. So you flew to South Africa's playground, Durban, and I know that you could have some bias with regard to certain areas, Cape Town, Joburg, Durban. What was the vibe like in Durban when it came to auditions?
You know, we always say Durban is the warmest place to be. And it's not a joke. It's not just the weather. No, the weather's one thing, but the people as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys saw when we did the one live crossing.
Oh,
and
man.
The energy just behind me of all those people smiling, just so excited and so warm and wanting to be part of it.
Yes.
That's the energy. And they brought the same energy into the audition booth. It was quite something to see. I loved it.
Now, when it comes to all-star sort of, competitors, I know that it takes a certain personality to handle an all-star, to be along with him during the challenge. Yeah. Did you spot any talent?
Yeah, I did. Lots of it. The thing about KZN people, right, is that they are sassy. They are
I love
so sassy. They are so confident. They've got this sort of natural ability to just be themselves. They're nothing else but themselves. And so I saw so much of that. And I think a confident person is the type of person that an all-star wants to have on their side. I think. I know.
I would say so.
I think.
You don't want to carry the team. You want to actually have somebody alongside you and not just be the celeb that's in the spotlight. You have two people who will have to go through the challenges. But when it comes to those auditions, you saw how it was, the experience. So I know we're going to do some, sort of experiences in Joburg soon as well. So for anybody who is going to the auditions based on your experience in Durban. What type of things can they expect? And more importantly, what type of advice do you think, what to bring along, what to bring when you do it?
I think the most important thing, and I think so many of our All-Stars have said this, is to bring yourself, be yourself. But very important, people need to remember to highlight their strengths and play down their weaknesses, because otherwise you're going to be telling us a whole list of like, I don't know how to swim, ooh, I don't like running, and then the All-Star's going to be watching it and going, okay, what do you do, actually? Bring so much of your strengths that, if there was any sort of sketchy areas that an All-Star might not be sure about, that they can overlook that.
I got you. So showcase your strengths, authenticity, be yourself. It's going to be massive because this coming weekend, it's the last opportunity to have that audition. The final round of live auditions will be hosted in Sandton City, Johannesburg, this Friday, 3rd up until Sunday, the 5th of June. So good luck to you.
Yep, all you need to do is make sure that you make your way over there this weekend and audition, guys. Tell Tropica and the All-Stars why you should be chosen to compete with one of our All-Star celebs, and then you stand the chance to win yourself that share of a smooth, say it with me, 1 million rand. And don't forget, there we go, don't forget those auditions will close this Sunday, the 5th of June. It's ticking.
It is.
It's ticking. Go on to Sandton City and then, of course, meet some of the All-Star celebs. Have your opportunity to impress them at the audition booths.
Yeah, of course. And you'll definitely be a part of fantastic experiences with your celeb. And remember, this experience is yours. So be yourself. Make sure the strengths come out, because there's nothing smoother than an experience with one of these celebs, the Tropica Island of Treasure audition.
Simple as CBD should be.
What's beta-glucan? Hello, do you know what beta-glucan is? What is beta-glucan? No one knows what beta-glucan is.
Beta-glucan is a natural fiber in jungle oats that helps lower cholesterol and keep hearts well.
Jungle, do life with heart.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso live on S3. Now, as you know, Paris was the destination for the final of the Champions League between record winners Real Madrid and 2019 champions Liverpool. Now, Liverpool and Real Madrid, they picked up the win. Of course, when I say that, there was fantastic, incredible action that came through. And of course, Real was victorious. But we don't need to batter on about that, given the fact that Mike Pedro is a Liverpool supporter. We don't need to do that. We're not going to rub anything. We're just going to review this final with sports presenter from Good Hope FM, Morgan Newman, as well as resident Liverpool fan and supporter, I wore red for him, Mike Pedro, who will be discussing the ins and outs of this incredible game. Now, before we continue, I just feel like it's important for us to take a little peek at what won it for this team, Real Madrid, that I'm not sure if anybody supports them, but let's see. Right, let's take a look at this moment over here, 59th, Vinicius Jr. Wow. Incredible scenes there for the neutral as well as the Real Madrid supporter, but of course we do need to discuss and unpack as well. I don't know about you though, but it is a chilly day. It's very cold. Sorry, I brought just a little bit of a... Sorry, man. It's just very cold. Just excuse me. Okay, right. That's fantastic. Right, send some voice notes through. I was just cold. At 063-408-8863. Mike Pedro, let's start with you. Welcome, and Morgan, it's a pleasure to have you. I'm sorry, it was that the aircon's up. Great, so Mike, let's start
Actually, I'm feeling a little bit hot today.
You're gonna pull up the tattoo. No, man, it is a really great sort of a weekend, of course, sport and F1. We get to F1 later. But focusing on the Champions League final, we saw that goal. You as a Liverpool supporter watching that, there were so many Liverpool supporters on social media coming at me saying, oh, you know what? Thibaut Courtois, he saved you. 9 saves, a record 9 saves, man of the match performance. But then again, what is a goalkeeper supposed to do again?
Exactly.
I forgot. Save you. Yes.
Maybe Alisson should take a page out of Courtois' book and try and make a couple of saves.
But I mean, look here, the impact of a goalkeeper doing that on a team, especially when you have a great attacking team like Liverpool, what do you think was the psychology over there? How did it impact the game?
Yeah, I think it definitely took the wind out of Liverpool's sails a little bit. Every time you go forward and take a shot, the keeper's just there. Yeah. And, I mean, to be fair, like, people say, oh, Courtois made 9 saves. Like, 7 of those saves, the shots were straight at him. So it was a combination of poor finishing on Liverpool's part. But also, that's a fact. And I think he had a point to prove as well. The last time he was in the final was Atletico Madrid, I think. And that didn't go too well for him. So he had something to prove. Real Madrid, I think, in many ways had something to prove, because I think before the game, if you listen to all the build-up, okay, it might have been a little bit biased because it was English TV, but everybody was saying that Liverpool are going to win, just because they'll overwhelm Real Madrid with their style of play. To a certain extent, they did. But that's the mark of a good team, when you're not playing well, to still pick up the win and take the chances that you create. And that's exactly what Madrid did.
Morgan Newman, it's always a pleasure. You know, they were chatting about this man winning 4 Champions League titles, and having him in a dressing room, the impact, the experience, just having a man who's played the game, has now coached the game, and has done some things that no coach has done. What do you think Ancelotti's impact was on this Real Madrid win?
Yeah, look, I mean, Carl, it's no secret, you know, form goes out the window when it's a final. Form, previous results, everything goes out the window. And if you know how to win finals and you know how to play football in a final, then it makes a complete difference. And Carlo Ancelotti, I mean, his record speaks for himself. You know, he probably came into this game, he knew exactly how to play against Liverpool, #1, and he knows how to win finals. And I think when you have that kind of experience in your squad, I mean, I think I saw a stat about amount of Champions League winners within that Real Madrid side as well. I mean, that in itself, for me, is really where the game was won or lost, irrespective of form coming in.
True. I think it was 9, but I mean, I don't know stats.
Who's keeping count?
Yeah, who's keeping count of those sorts of things? Right, but if I look at this, if you look at Liverpool, and I mean, I don't want to hurt you. Okay.
Could have fooled me.
What do you mean? Don't. This is just, I'm cold. Okay, but it's another final and another loss. So how do you come back to this as a coach? You know, and I loved Jurgen Klopp's interview when he said that they will be back next year. Like, there was confidence. He didn't even say maybe we'll be. He'll say we'll be back in the final next year. So there was that great confidence that every fan wants to hear. But I mean, how do you take this to the next level for them? And I mean, I heard about Sadio Mane recently as well. So what's the next level for Liverpool? How do you get past this and say that you can come back next year and win a final?
I mean, Sadio Mane, the final day against Man City and the Champions League final. It's not the greatest week to be a Liverpool fan, to be fair. But I think Liverpool should just organise a swap deal with Mane and bring Lewandowski to Liverpool.
Why not? It's actually a brilliant idea,
Stranger things have happened. Look at Messi going to PSG. So, but no, realistically, I think Liverpool have invested. They probably saw this coming, maybe in terms more of age than anything else with that front three. They've got Diaz, they've got Jota. They're going to keep Salah at least for next season. So I think they're still in a good position, even without Mane, even though he will be a massive, massive loss to the team.
Definitely. Quick one from you, Morgan, very quick. Ballon d'Or, Karim Benzema, possible?
Without a doubt.
Yes! That's all I wanted to hear from you. But of course, Morgan is sticking around as well as Mike Pedro because there have been some reports coming out of Monaco around drama, whether the Monaco Grand Prix is even relevant on the actual lineup anymore. So that's why we have to just hit F1 a little bit later. But for now, as Liverpool bounce back, let's just continue bouncing.
We're going to try the whole bouncing thing, but for now we are focusing on rebounding, which is gaining popularity because it's gentle on the joints, but also allows you to work your cardiovascular system without, you know, taxing the body. Now, the core, leg, buttocks, and even the deep back muscles are the focus for these types of exercises, while you can also improve your endurance given the high energy that this comes with this routine. And here to help us is Robin Lee Erasmus, and I'm almost a little bit scared. That first one was so high impact. We are going to focus a little bit more on the core this time round.
Okay, so not so fast. It's going to be a bit slower. So we're going to focus on the core. You want to get down. The first one is like mountain climbers, eh?
Okay.
So on the opposite side, you just want to bring your knee to the opposite elbow.
Okay.
So just bring it up. Other side. There we go.
There we go.
Now you can make it a bit faster and speed it up and do the one.
Do the running one while Robin shows you that one. I'll do the modified version. There we go.
And then you would also perform this for 30 seconds.
Okay.
10-second break, and then we move on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, so for the next one, we're sitting on the trampoline. We're gonna lean a bit back. Okay, nice support here now.
Okay.
Lift the knees, and then you're just bouncing.
Oh, let me see what you mean with just bouncing.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it. Let me show you. So you're just gonna go back and then bounce.
Oh, bounce.
This, you really have to engage the core for this because you have to balance.
Okay, okay, but we are using each other for support, or if you do it solo, you do it like that.
There we go, and you want to get the arms nice and low and up. There we go.
This is one that burns. Okay. And how long would you do this one for?
30 seconds as well.
Okay, okay, a good 30 seconds. So we focus now on some mountain climbers. We've done a little bit of core workout. And what is our next one?
Okay, so the next one, we're gonna do the obliques. We're gonna focus on the obliques. You wanna get down, and you're just gonna do a twist. So you're gonna twist and raise that leg, bring it to the tip of your finger. There we go, and come back. Twist other way, and back.
Okay.
And twist.
There we go. Fantastic.
And 30 seconds as well.
Okay. Oh, this is a workout on its own. I mean, not only did you bring that high intensity when we were focusing on the legs, but also now simply just doing the core and using the trampoline as our foundation, as our base. That's really, really cool. And in terms of a cool down, a cool off, like, you know, just finishing off the workout.
Finishing off the workout, okay? You can just, so you want to bring the heart rate down, so but you also don't want to stand still and just drop it. So you're just going to step to the side. Deep breath in and exhale. Inhale as the heart rate comes down and exhale. Here we go. And exhale. And we are cooled down.
There we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this workout that we did. Robin Lee, it's always so great to have you in studio. You know how to put all of us through our paces. For people that want to stay up to date with you and your fitness and you know, your personal training, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It is Robin_Lee Erasmus, and that is it. You can find me over there. All my workouts are on there as well.
Oh, well, listen, she does killer workouts, so do go and follow her, support her, and she will be back on your Feel Good Breakfast show to put us through our paces.
1 in 2 healthy South African women suffer from iron deficiency. Speak to your healthcare professional about getting tested and treated for iron deficiency. Brought to you by FerryMed.
back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3. As you can see, still a bit chilly. But you know what? We were chatting about the Champions League final a little earlier with our panel. Morgan Newman, Good Hope FM sport presenter, as well as Mike Pedro, our resident sport presenter too. But some comments on the final before we get on to F1. Let's start with Karabo from the Val. She had this to say.
Hello, Expresso Show. My name is Karabo Mkwena from Val at Vanderbilt Park. Oh yes, I do watch a Liverpool match. And Liverpool, it's my favorite soccer team. And I will always love it. Bye.
Thank you. You have to stay true no matter what, and that's why I love football. Liverpool had an entire parade yesterday, and I think that is what football should be. It's for the fans. David from Cape Town sent this through.
Good morning, Expresso. Yeah, my name is David. I'm here in Kraaifontein. They call me Butkole. Sorry, Liverpool. Sorry, Liverpool. Bad luck. Try again. Sadio Mano. Salah. Sorry, my man. That was not your day yesterday. Thank you.
That's the voice notes that came through. That was wow. Thank you, David. I was just rubbing it in. Okay, can I just take my scarf off here? All right, and let's chat about Formula One now. One of the most iconic races on the circuit took place yesterday, with the drivers taken to the streets of Monaco, and Max Verstappen went into the weekend with a 6-point lead over Charles Leclerc. In the driver's standings, it was Sergio Perez that got the win in a chaotic race that was delayed by 1 whole hour, and had a red flag and saw Ferrari get a strategy call wrong to allow Red Bull to take places on the podium. Now, of course, we have to review this properly. As mentioned, Morgan Newman, Mike Pedro standing by to talk about the drama, the days of our F1s. It's a new soapy they're going to put onto a streaming site very soon, but you can also let us know your thoughts on the F1 063-408-8863. Now, Morgan, let's start off. That was chaos. Let's be honest. From a 1 hour delay, downpours to us waiting anticipation, and to a very, very interesting pit stop before we get there. Overall, Sergio Perez taking podium. What are your thoughts?
What a Formula One weekend. I mean, I think we were talking about it off the camera, but yeah. For 4 hours, I was literally glued to the screen because you don't know what was going to happen. I mean, the red flag came out, then it went back out, then the drivers got back in the cars, then the rain came, and there were so many different permutations before the race even started. And we all know, it's no secret. In Monaco, there's not a lot of overtaking that takes place. So it was really, in my opinion, Ferraris to lose, and they went and just lost it. I mean, literally. That pit stop, you spoke about it, you alluded to it earlier. Yes. What a mistake to make in Monaco, of all places, where you're not going to get another chance to overtake.
Well, mistake, strategy, it's taking advantage of maybe some information with regard to weather. We don't know what it was, but from your side, Mike, that particular call that changed everything, was it just a masterstroke, a bit of taking advantage of a certain situation?
Yeah, I think that's where I don't want to say Red Bull's experience, because obviously Ferrari are the most successful team in Formula One, but maybe the championship experience in recent years where that's come to the fore, and Red Bull's battles with Mercedes now obviously having the same with Ferrari this season. I think they sort of just had a little bit of an inside track there, and it went to their benefit. It's one of those things where if it comes off, it's a masterstroke. If it doesn't, everyone's looking at you like, what were you thinking, making that decision? But I think it was more Ferrari's fault than sort of Red Bull, because if you win, and hopefully we'll see the clip a little bit later, but Leclerc wanted to stay out for another lap. His team called him in. Then when he was in the pit stop, then they said, no, stay out, go back again. And by that stage, it was too late. So as much as Red Bull took advantage of the situation, Ferrari left both sliding doors open for them, and they went through.
I think Ferrari picked over the wall and saw Red Bull. What are they doing? What? No, get back out there. I think that's what happened. Yeah. But let's take a peek at a little clip. In case you missed the incident just yesterday, this is the masterstroke, mistake, bit of luck. Who knows? Take a look. Oh, my word. This is, that was the moment that changed everything clearly. Morgan, Charles Leclerc, of course, this must be the vision of a frustrated person. So many pole positions heading into these races in Monaco, and still not a podium. It's got to be frustrating, especially knowing that this happened. I felt like this could have been the one. but it was taken away promptly. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I also really thought this was finally the one for him. You know, he's been racing so well. I mean, so many poles, as you've already mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's just going to keep grinding away. I mean, what does he do? You know, his mental state really needs to, is being tested. But a great driver, and eventually, I mean, the results will come his way, you know. Monaco, of all places, so much can happen, and so much did happen yesterday. You know, I mean, I want to turn this around more and say, you know, so happy for Perez. I mean,
yes.
You know, a guy that doesn't get much of the accolades. You know, Verstappen gets all the news and gets all the in that Red Bull car of his, and I'm just so happy that he picked up.
Years, no new contract signed. Is Monaco still relevant on the calendar? That is the big thing. I know it's that big money, that classy one that people look forward to. But let's talk about Monaco just for a second. Do you think it still belongs in the calendar, or maybe something new should come into play?
Yeah, I think it's difficult because you want to keep it because it is the iconic race in Formula One. But also, it hasn't really moved with the times, I don't think. I mean, the cars are as wide as buses these days. Yeah. And even before that, Monaco was a place where you can't really overtake, obviously being a street circuit and the track being so narrow. And I think, like, I don't know about you, Morgan, but I don't think overtaking is possible anymore in this new era that we have in Formula One, especially in Monaco.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's so tough, but I definitely think there's a place for Monaco on the calendar.
Definitely. That answers the question. There's a place for South Africa as well, just saying. But the Formula One, the drama continues. Verstappen still in the lead. And, of course, we'll be here with any sort of review or preview you need on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Thanks a lot to our guests. Of course, catch Morgan Newman on Good Hope FM every single afternoon. Of course, Mike Pedro, you can catch him here with his Liverpool colours on, being proud.
Okay. Sports brings you happiness, maybe, but potatoes. Do you know the thing about potatoes? They will always reign supreme in the land of vegetables. And this roasted baby potatoes with mozzarella pearls and lemon, basil, and garlic dressing have everything you need for a happy life. Because listen to this, cheese plus potatoes equals happiness. That's right, and Jenny Morris is still here to show us how to make this delicious dish that could serve as a perfect side, maybe to a braai or a Sunday feast or any day of the week, honestly. Jenny, because that's what it is, happiness in a bowl.
Oh, happiness. Right? For me, a potato is absolute happiness.
Well, last week we actually asked people what their favorite vegetable was, and it really did come up at the top of people's faves, which is really, I mean, it's no surprise.
Let me just tell you something. The poor old potato is so demonized. And stop your nonsense. They're gorgeous. Look here. I'm going to anoint them. They're going to be anointed or embalmed, or whatever you want to call it, with beautiful, some olive oil, some olive pride, salt and pepper mix. We're going to just tap that all over it. And just a little tip for our viewers. Yeah. Anything that grows under the ground always gets boiled in cold water.
Why is that?
Because it needs time. It needs time, and all those starches and things need to develop. And if it grows above the ground, well, then you put it into hot boiling water.
Then you can do whatever you want to do with it. Okay.
Look at the...
I'll tell you something interesting, is that you could actually cook your potatoes in your air fryer for 13 to 15 minutes at 190 degrees until cooked through and golden brown. That's a tip. And if you can't find, let's say, is it called bocconcini or bocconcini?
Darling, they're just little balls.
Bocconcini. Mozzarella, you could simply use a mozzarella block, which I would do. Cut that into bite-sized cubes. It really does work well. Or substitute the mozzarella for feta or said halloumi bites. They always do work as a hit. And if you want to cook these potatoes even quicker, what you can do is maybe first boil them, okay? Like Jenny said, first boil them, then drying them, then placing them in the oven after that. I mean, come on, it's simple.
Delicious. I like to hurt them once they're boiled. I like to give them a little smack, give them a squish.
Oh, yes, and then...
And then they roast, and all those wild edges.
Oh,
crispy,
my word. Jenny, my heart can't handle it. So I'm going to make us a...
Give me the balls, don't put
what am I doing here with
You're going to make me a dressing.
I'm making you a dressing. So what have we got here? Some lemon juice?
We've got lemon juice. We've got some beautiful basil, some chili flakes. How hot do you like it?
Very hot.
Okay, you're going to be upside down in the shower with this one because we've got chili flakes and a fresh chili.
Okay, well, say less. This is it. This is a perfect combination.
Garlic and a little bit of oil.
Give me some of that clover olive pride, which is endorsed endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa, so you know that they've thought about your heart. They've thought about the fact that they don't want you having heart issues or even strokes. They want you to live a happy, healthy life. Okay, let's
darling, my heart belongs to you, Tanya.
no, mine belongs to you, Jenny. Okay, cool. So that's going to go in.
Blitz.
And there we go. Blitz, 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 blitz.
I love it.
Blitz. I always get so nervous these days before I have to blitz anything, because at home, it's always like a job of, or a labor of trial and error. But sometimes also explosions all over the place, eh?
Well, sometimes it does explode if you don't close the lid properly.
Yeah, it does sometimes do that, except today that's not happening. That is not what is happening here today. There is no such
Tell the
thing.
truth. Tell the truth.
A little bit, but nothing we can't handle. If you want the recipe, please go on to expressoshow.com. We've got the recipe there, as well as all of the ingredients you're going to need. That already looks so good to me.
It's healthy and delicious. I love it when you put the basil in fresh. It's so vibrant.
Plate it.
You want to eat it, eh, boy?
I mean, look at the potatoes. They're literally saying, eat me. You know you want to. Okay, so that's going in there. Look, that's what the final product looks like. It is so easy to make. Anyone can make this one, but the recipe is available. expressoshow.com. Oh, it looks so good, man.
Look at that, darling.
We're going to share this.
We're going to share.
Gynagard, feminine hygiene mastered.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And why do you feel good? Because you stay with Expresso and S3 and you're looking forward to some talent. So am I. We're back in studio with Zambian singer, songwriter and DJ Naima, here now to perform a fantastic lead single of her EP she released earlier this year. So I suggest you stay focused on your screen, because the song is called, yes, you guessed it, Focused.
Different day, I kinda need an alternative to the way I live on my way. Find my peace, get my paper, gotta stay focused on me. You ain't the one for me, I won't pretend I can do better than this. I've just been doing the most, getting my bag I'm supposed to. Most of you haters went broke, it's getting hard but I'm hopeful. I've just been doing the most, getting my bag I'm supposed to. Most of you haters went broke, it's getting hard but I'm hopeful. I'm grateful, I just be counting my blessings. Private just show my statement, I'm payment. You and I'm innocent. Don't care about the fame. I'm running the game. Remember my name. Remember my name. Sign, but I'm acting all independent. Wonder how I got all this attention. I get my favor from heaven. I pray to God when I'm in my feelings. I've just been doing the most. Getting my bag like I'm supposed to. Most of you haters went broke. It's getting hard, but I'm home. I've just been doing the most. Getting my bag like I'm supposed to. Most of you haters went broke. It's getting hard, but I'm hopeful. I've just been doing the most. Getting my bag like I'm supposed to. Most of you haters went broke. It's getting hard, but I'm hopeful. I've just been doing the most. Getting my bag like I'm supposed to. Most of you haters went broke. It's getting hard, but I'm hopeful. They don't really know us. Gotta stay focused. They don't really know us. Gotta stay focused. They don't really know us. Stay focused. They don't know us. Stay focused.
Presenting Naima. Wowza. Okay, I would like more. I know you're shouting to TV. We want more. You'll get more in your Feel Good Breakfast show from the super talent. So make sure you stick around for another performance coming your way. But for now, it is time for news from around the world. And Uncle Tabzi Wabzi is standing by.
Oh, what a hard performance. Naima is going nowhere, here to stay. But time now for us to take a look at those news headlines. A final look at that. We start off here at home in South Africa, where the South African National Defence Force says that it has built the necessary capacity to deploy its members to peacekeeping missions. It said it supports the United Nations agenda to end war and violence. And the Defence Force marked the International Day of UN Peacekeepers at the Brug outside Bloemfontein by commemorating soldiers who died in various peacekeeping missions since the year 2003. Families of 46 fallen soldiers gathered there to honor the heroes who fell while serving under the UN peacekeeping mission's flag. Staying here at home, the Department of Social Development has launched a week-long child protection campaign in Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape. This year, the focus will be on teenage pregnancy, which saw a spike during the COVID-19 period. The National Child Protection Week is observed in South Africa annually to raise awareness about the rights of children. Deputy Minister of Social Development, Henrietta Bogopane Zulu, says that adult men are mainly responsible for teenage pregnancies. She said, and I quote, "I call them the 4 M's, mature, mobile men with money. They're my problem." In international news, Pope Francis is set to make a grueling trip to 2 African countries in July, despite knee problems that have forced him to use a cane and wheelchair in recent weeks. The Vatican issued a full program on Saturday for the July 2nd to the 7th trip to the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan. There had been speculation that the Pope's visit to Africa might be postponed, as was a trip to Lebanon scheduled for June. The 85-year-old pontiff's visit includes thousands of kilometers of travel, 5 flights, and at least a dozen speeches. Now, the U.S. Justice Department will investigate the police response to the mass shooting at a school in Uvalde in Texas, in which 19 children and 2 teachers died. Public anger is growing after it emerged that an officer or the officers waited for some 40 minutes in the hallway because they didn't believe it was an active shooter situation, while children trapped with the shooter made desperate 911 calls. The gunman's rampage lasted for over an hour, and police found as many as 1,657 rounds of ammunition in his possession after he was fatally wounded. Now, Barrett Golden, a 2-year-old trickster from Texas in the U.S., opened the app for a food delivery concern on his mom's phone and placed an order for 31 cheeseburgers. The total of the order was a whopping $92. That's around 1,500 Rand, including a generous tip of 25% the toddler left. Was it an innocent accident or was it the perfect prank? Well, since Barrett's only 2, probably the former, but it's so deliciously hilarious nonetheless. And Mom Kelsey said that Barrett isn't some sort of boy genius who was able to navigate the app. I'll quote now, she says, "He was just playing with my phone," she said, and admitted that she had forgotten to lock it. But wait for it, Barrett doesn't even like cheeseburgers, so Mom Kelsey offered the patties up for free to hungry neighbors. And afterwards, the restaurant invited the devoted young customer to hang out with some company mascots. And Mom Kelsey's final comment on the great cheeseburger mishap was, "I hope it spreads a little humor in a sad, dark world." We think Barrett did just that. That's where we leave it for this morning. Here is Zoe with a look at your weather.
Thank you, Tabiso. Well, here's a final look at your weather for today. eThekwini Municipality emergency personnel are on standby after the SA Weather Service has issued a stern warning on the probability of gale force winds along the coast of KZN this morning. Damaging winds of between 70 and 80 kilometers an hour along the coastal areas of KZN are forecast. Waves of some 4 to 6 meters high are predicted until noon today, resulting in very rough seas. The expected bad weather will hit Port Edward first, spreading northwest to Richards Bay and moderating from this afternoon. The Weather Service's warning is for caution in places along the coast, ports and beaches. Fires are to be avoided at these as these will spread quickly and result in extensive damage to infrastructure and danger to life. Now, the Weather Service predicts the eThekwini, KwaDukuzu, Mandeni, Mfolozi, Ray, Nkonyeni, Mdoni and Mlazi areas will be affected. Now, from your weather news, we now move on to some sunrise views that was captured by you. One of our regulars, Brian Super from Table View, captured this stunning shot of the mountains in the distance while he completes his morning run. And then another regular, Verity Herbert from Riebeek West, shared this stunning shot of the sky displaying beautiful hues of orange and yellow. Nigel Riley from Fisher kicked us off for 7 o'clock with this stunning shot of the sun peeking through the cloud-filled sky. And then last but not least, we have Raymond Kutsia from Pretoria, who captured this lovely silhouetted image of a great lens with a great lens flare from the sun. Absolutely beautiful. Well, let's look at those temperatures. If you're in Polokwane today, partly cloudy with a low of 7, a high of 22. Mbombela 9, 19. If you're in Pretoria today, 9's your low, 20 your high. Johannesburg sunny with a low of 6, a high of 18. If you're in Mahikeng, 2's your low, 21 your high. Klerksdorp 2 reaching a high of 19. Kimberley -1 with a high of 16 for today. Bloemfontein -4 reaching a high of 16. Richards Bay 10 is your low, 21 your high. A sunny day in Pietermaritzburg 5 is your low, 17 your high for today. Durban sunny, 12 with a high of 20. Mthatha 3 reaching a high of 16. East London 10 reaching a high of 18. Sunny in Cradock 0 is your low, 14 your high. Gqeberha 10 reaching a high of 19. If you're in George, also expect a low of 10, a high of 19. Cape Town slightly cooler with a high of 17 for today. Worcester 3 reaching a high of 16. Sutherland cold with a -3 as your low and 12 as your high for today. And a sunny day can be expected in Uppington, a low of 1, a high of 19 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Chilly conditions, but come rain or shine, nothing will stop us from celebrating Game's 52nd birthday. It's party time. Now, Game want to celebrate their 52nd birthday by giving you the chance to win a 2,000 Rand shopping voucher. Now, to enter, tell us how you would use a 2,000 Rand Game shopping voucher to make your or someone else's birthday celebrations even better. And do remember to include the hashtag #GotGame with your entry. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com, and the competition runs until tomorrow, Tuesday, 31st of May, 2022. Midnight is the deadline. Now, to get us in a celebratory mood, which is quite appropriate, we decided to play a little party game. I'm sure you've seen this at many parent-teacher sort of meet for the school. A three-legged race is something so dynamic and remarkable. It takes precision, it takes collaboration, but also takes somebody really fantastic. As you can see, Game is excited. Now, do remember that this is going to need a little demonstration, and this is why I've got two perfect volunteers. We've got Uncle Tubbsy, we've got Zoe Brown, and these two will be doing a little bit of a three-legged race, but the thing is we need someone to tie. So I want to bring in Lucian, the legend, to come and tie these two together for a three-legged race. Do remember that nobody will be hurt in the making of this race.
I hope that doesn't happen.
This is going to be fun. So they'll be tied together. As you can see, their well-structured legs will be bound. And from there, they will have to find a way to have each other's back and brain in walking forward and back.
Wait.
Okay, so this is...
Now, Lucian's done this before.
There we go.
Lots of
Of
times,
course. What, Lucian's done the tying up thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Didn't think of that. Anyway, right, let's move on. What I need you two to do is to get in position centrally there. So let's do a side walk first to get central. And then I want you to walk... Sorry, this is... This is going to be great. Serious stuff now. We are celebrating Game's 52nd birthday. I want you to walk from there, but I want you to walk across me about 4 meters.
All right.
And then I want you to return. I'll tell you how you'll return when you are at the point I'm happy with. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, I want you to walk. All right. 1. Perfect. More. Stop right there, please.
Thank you.
Perfection. That's great. Now, I want you guys to be a bit more sort of, I'm going to say square, because I want you to walk backwards. So, Zoe, if you could get a little bit more to the front, if you don't mind. Called Tubbsy to the back, of course. I want you to face our beautiful display unit. Face it. And now I want you to walk backwards, please, if you don't mind. It's all part of the game, all part of the structure, the strategy of the game as well. Walk backwards. There we go. There we go. Fantastic. You know what, I'm actually hearing prayers for some reason. I don't know what it is. Well done. Let's give them a massive round of applause. That is how you three-legged race. Well done.
Collaboration!
Yes! Woo! All right. I didn't mention to them, but they will not be untied until 9 a.m., which is going to be fantastic for the show. But remember,
I need the
opening hours on Monday to Friday.
Someone?
From 9 to 6.
The bathroom. Okay, let's go.
Monday to Friday, 9 to 6. Don't forget. Okay, Saturday from 9 to 5, and Sunday and public holidays from 9 to 4. Now, what are you waiting for? Get your entry in now. Come, guys, walk to me. Let's say goodbye. Come.
I'm sorry, I really do need the bathroom.
Walk to me. Come walk. Walk to me.
I really do need the...
All right, you got Game. Enter the competition now. 52 years of Game and three-legged races. They have no game.
Oh.
Your generosity can ignite a love for reading amongst our youth. Share your homegrown story. See Cadbury Story Edition packs. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here in S3, and let me show you a little bit of a trick. I want you to pick a number between 1 and 3. Can't be 1, it can't be 3. Your number's 2. You're welcome, Magic. Now, the College of Magic is a non-profit organization that, through the art of magic, afford children the opportunity to develop confidence, social skills, and the opportunity to develop their own voices as a medium of expression. And yes, it's South Africa's very own Hogwarts. Thank goodness. 3 points for Gryffindor. And we're joined by one of their educators, Sinatemba, 2 students, Duma and Vuyo, are also going to be joining us as well. Look at that, ready for TV. And they'll be hosting a magic show at the Artscape Theatre in Cape Town titled The Magic Key. And here's a little sneak peek of what you can expect at this one-of-a-kind magic production this June that you will be at. Magic! That's what we're talking about. We have the 3 talents over here. As you can see, Sinatemba, I'm looking at that now.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is something not to be missed. I love magic so much. People love magic. We've missed the magic throughout these 2 years, and now we can do this. So, you know, you teach it at the College of Magic. You know, you're part of this whole thing. How did you become involved in empowering people through magic?
Okay, basically, myself, I was a student at the College of Magic, and then I became a graduate. After I became a graduate, I started to do my teaching training.
Yes.
And then I went to do a community work to teach kids in schools how to juggle. After that, like, the College of Magic recognized the work that I was doing, and then they invited me to come home and work and continue developing these young people.
Great. So you got Duma and Vuyo here. What is their skill set with regard to, you know, to the magic field? Because I know it's juggling, it's card tricks as well, and you know, but you want to teach people to do as many things as possible. Is that correct?
Yes. Firstly, we teach them like we teach magic. We teach life skills through magic. Yeah, that's the first important thing. So they do stage magic, they do close-up magic and juggling, so they're different type of magic that they do.
Perfect.
Yeah, man.
Duma, welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. First time on TV?
Second time.
Oh, okay, so you know this, you've got what it takes. But okay, what is it about you know, getting taught these skills that helps you rise above whatever situation you're going through?
Yes, it does. It helps a lot.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so what is your favorite thing to do in terms of your skills?
My favorite thing is ball manipulation, which is what I'm good at.
What? Ball manipulation? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, but we have to see that a little bit later. We'll give you a chance to demonstrate. Vuyo, welcome. First time on TV?
Yes.
Yes, man! I love it. Expresso is your first. That's the most important thing. What's your skill set? What do you love doing?
Juggling.
Juggling?
Yes.
Can you juggle anything?
Yes.
Basically anything. If I had to give you 3 kettles right now, would you be able to juggle them? I love it. No, but it's cool because, you know, you'll get to this level where you're going to just juggle everything. And also, as you get older with life, you'll juggle petrol prices.
That's true.
And debit orders, which is something we all juggle. Anyway, Sinatemba, Stuart Taylor, is one of our favorite magicians and comedians. He's been involved in some way. How has he been contributing to make sure that this show is magic?
It was good to have Stuart Taylor in the show. Because we're looking for that element of comedy.
Yes.
So Stuart was able to provide us with that element of comedy, and it was great to work with him in the show. And it's very good, you know.
He's amazing.
He's amazing, man. So his directing skills are wonderful.
So when it comes to the age groups around, you know, who should be starting, you know, this thing in terms of age-wise? Do you have to be a certain age, or can you start any time?
No, the kids, actually, we take kids when they are 10 years old.
What?
Yeah, I think it's the right time, like, to start to work with them in the magic, because they need to focus and concentrate. So at least 10-year-old, like, we can manage to work with that age group, from 10 years.
That's beautiful, man. And I think that, you know, magic as an industry needs your help. it needs the young people's help as well, like Duma and Vuyo, to make sure that the baton is actually carried on. So
Delegate doesn't die.
we cannot. Magic will never die. Okay, it will never ever. So if you'd like to experience this spectacular show, this is what you need to do. First of all, I want you to get to Magic Key, right? Remember that is. It's a magic key to unlocking your mind. Yeah. Then go to computicket.com to unlock your tickets. Okay, purchase your ticket. This show will be running from the 1st to the 4th of June at the Artscape Theatre. It is definitely a must-see, and be sure to stay tuned. We have a few of these magicians who will be showing you their stuff, and you will be mesmerized with regard to their skills. Speaking of boosting the confidence and social skills of kids, we also have Nikki Bush, who will be sharing how we can further develop these life skills with their kids through a variety of different skills. So I suggest you just take a look.
It is your feel-good breakfast show here on S3, and often we ask ourselves this question: how can we help our children develop life skills and hands-on confidence? Now, this morning, we are chatting to Nikki Bush, human potential and parenting expert, for some practical advice and ideas, because she's right here in studio. We love that we get to connect with you, that you're hands-on with this. But let's start with practical skills. Why are practical life skills just so important?
Really, Jamie, we want kids who believe I can, I am, and I will. And these are the kinds of feelings that they actually get when they do stuff. Children are very concrete learners. They need the opportunity to do stuff in the world, to impact on the world. And one of the quickest, easiest ways to do that is stuff around the house. Life skills, and strangely enough, children today have very poor life skills. I think the pandemic in a way gave us a little bit of a boost because kids and their parents were at home together for extended periods of time. But on the whole, children don't even know what a potato peeler is today by the time they get into grade R, grade 1.
That is scary and also sad at the same time. That being said, where to from there? How are we as parents being able to enforce that and maybe change this narrative?
These sorts of things used to be passed on by parents to their children because they spent time together in the kitchen, time together doing the chores around the house. But of course, with many children today, now they're at school from 6 to 6 because they get dropped off at 6, they get collected when parents have finished work. And then when they get home, their parents have got so much to do, they tend to do everything themselves because it's more expedient, takes less time than if you include your children in doing the chores, preparing the meal, etc. And so you send your children off to play PlayStation, watch TV, or go and do their homework, and there's this void of life skills that are not being passed on. I talk about passing on the baton of responsibility to your children. And this happens alongside, parent and child alongside each other, doing things together.
And I love that you mentioned that because parents are busy these days. You know, it is the sad reality that parents can't be with their kids 24/7, and when they do come home, they often don't have time. But how do we change that then? How do we give the kids the foundation to acquire these life skills?
So this is what I call parenting on the run, Jamie, and it's so important that we kill a few birds with one stone. You know, killing 2 birds with 1 stone is that saying. You've got to cook anyway. You've got to set the table anyway. The curtains must be closed. The dogs must be fed. The beds must be made. And so we must teach our children how to do these things with us and then for themselves, by themselves. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to praise and encourage your children. And you're together anyway. You know, you've got to be in the kitchen cooking the dinner. So invite the kids in to come and help you to chop the veggies or wash the dishes. While you're busy doing one thing, they're perhaps doing it with you or doing another thing. But they're in your orbit. And after a busy day, your children actually need to hear your voice. They need to smell you. They need to be close enough to have this sort of physical contact, this multi-sensory contact with you. But there's so much that children can learn from these very ordinary, mundane kind of sounding activities. And I think parents get caught in a trap today thinking that they need to entertain their children. And everything they do with their kids needs to be fun and exciting. And you want to be your child's friend. And you want everything to be happy. But actually the reality is, most of the pictures that are on Facebook and social media lie. They lie. Life is not perfect. Your children are not always clean and well turned out.
And well behaved.
And well behaved. And I promise you, in most households, there's a bit of raising of voices and making kids get ready on time and all of those sorts of things. That's the reality of children learning how to do stuff, do it faster, do it better, get ready for school on time. That happens with practice. It doesn't happen overnight.
Practice, include them, and also be present. Well, I want to find out about when we can introduce this to our children, but luckily you're not going anywhere because we are going to be continuing this conversation on life skills and our kids with Nikki Bush in a bit, so stay with us.
Introducing new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever anytime, anywhere.
You'll always know how much I love you. I hope that you never stop learning and growing, that you'll be brave and joyful and kind, and that one day when you look at me and I look at you, we'll love the wonderful you that you've become. It all begins with purity.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We are continuing our conversation with human potential and parenting expert Nikki Bush, talking about how to help our children develop life skills and also those hands-on confidence. Nikki, so good that you're still with us. We spoke about life skills and how important it is to include our kids every step of the way, but at what age do we start passing on these life skills to our children?
When our children are able to walk and talk, they can start closing curtains. Duvets are not difficult in terms of making beds. So from about the age of 4, they can start helping out around the house. And if you've got curtains that need closing at night, a 3-year-old is really quite able to pull those curtains closed or open them in the morning. And pets provide a wonderful opportunity for learning how to care for other living things because they need to be fed twice a day. And your child can be taught very easily, age 3, 4, how much dog food or cat food to put in the little blicky and pour it into the bowl. They get a huge amount of satisfaction out of this. There's a sense of mastery. Children are born to learn. They are curious and they actually want to do exactly what they see you doing and they want to get good at it. But we need to give them the opportunity.
That being said, if I get myself a dog now, and for my little one, I'm going to blame you. And then if Luca needs to pick up anything, I'm going to be like, Nikki, he didn't pick up anything. But when it comes to the age again, when it comes to a child being at 12 years old, what should they be able to do at that age?
So I've got a very long list here, and I'm going to cherry pick a few items that I think are important. So how about this one? Sewing on a button. And I'll never forget walking into my son's bedroom when he was about 13 and seeing him sewing on his blazer button, because blazer buttons fall off all the time. Another time I found him with fishing gut stitching up a tog bag. And why was he able to do that? Because he had watched me sewing and he had been allowed to sew on buttons and things like that. So children learn skills often via osmosis, and because we're prepared to take the risk. Children need to learn how to sweep and to mop and to vacuum. When my son landed up at university sharing digs with somebody who had had a domestic helper all his life, he had no idea how to use a mop. So my son had to teach him. So do your children have these basic life skills? Ironing a shirt, ironing clothes. So once children hit their teenage years, they need to learn things like this. Once again, one of my sons went to boarding school, and the rule was you send your laundry to the laundry at school, because this is what I'm paying for, because I don't want to be washing and ironing your stuff on a Sunday night. Well, about 6 weeks into the year, of course, the 1 week he forgot to drop his laundry off at the laundry, the school laundry, and brought it home. And I just looked at it and said, would you like a lesson in how to use the washing machine and the iron? Because I'm not doing it. And so that was his lesson in how to do his laundry. The interesting thing is he's a perfectionist and he actually loves the ironing. So that was interesting. And then things like cooking a meal. We don't let our children do it because we think they can't, they're too young. They can be in that kitchen with you from the age of 3. By the age of 9 or 10, they should be able to cook a proper meal, not just make a sandwich, but you would be surprised how many children at the age of 5 or 6 do not know how to make juice in a sandwich.
Or because they weren't involved and were not present when mom and dad or anyone was actually facilitating this or doing this.
Mum and dad were not invitational. They said, go away, we'll do it. And what happens then is that children don't believe they can. And I did have a dad come to me with a daughter of age 8 and another one of age 12. And he said, Nikki, you are absolutely right. I've been doing everything for so long. When I invited my girls into the kitchen recently to help me, they said, oh no, Dad, we can't do it as well as you. So we have to be really careful that we don't become servants to our children. So if we can upskill them to do stuff, it's important, like first aid. What do you do if you hurt yourself and you're bleeding? What do you do? Do you just go, or do you know that the plasters are in the top drawer in the kitchen, and you know how to treat a basic wound? So just think about those life skills. We've talked a little bit about first aid, a little bit about cooking, a little bit about doing the chores. What about teaching your children to build a fire, a braai, safely? If you don't teach them properly, they will not be safe. Teach them properly, and they will know exactly what to do and how to keep themselves safe. And that's important. You need to have the peace of mind that your kids can cope with life.
You know what? I was very fortunate growing up to go to Girl Scouts. So these were the life lessons that I was taught, like making a fire. Whose responsibility is this? Is it ours as a parent, or is it the school's responsibility to teach these life skills to our children?
So unfortunately, fewer and fewer children are going to Boy Scouts and Girl Guides these days. And it really is the parents' job to teach their children how to be in life, to be real with life. It's not the school's responsibility, but schools are having to teach children more and more. I watch in preschools as they teach children how to wash dishes with sunlight soap and make the bubbles and use the brush and the cloth.
Nikki, I wish I could sit with you the entire time. I feel like you're my new best friend, my new mommy friend. I want to ask you so many questions, but as always, it is a pleasure just tapping into your knowledge about all of our things, all of these things that we need answers to, life skills, our children, and I'm sure Mzansi has got some great tips from this. That was, of course, human potential and parenting expert Nikki Bush sharing some very keen insights with us. Now, for more info, get a hold of her book, Future Proof Yourself, and you can also visit her website, which is www.nikkibush.com.
Thank you, Jamie Lee, and of course, Nikki Bush for those keys to success. But we go from keys to success to the magic key. It's a show that you have to go see. It is, time to embrace magic. So please go see it at the Artscape soon. I'll give you details on that in a second. But now we have a 16-year-old student, Vuyo, from the College of Magic, and he'll be doing a juggling act. And as you can see, you know what? When the camera's on him, he just knows. He just knows to wave. That's how experienced these guys are, and they are being taught. And of course, Sinatemba is here to help. But this object manipulation, juggling is what they call it, is wowing every single audience that sees it. And I think for you, you need to see it in action. And this is why we got Vuyo, who is standing by to demo a bit of juggling. Vuyo, 16 years old. Are you ready, my friend? Are you good to go? So usually you would have music at the stage, eh? You know, to kind of do the whole thing, and the crowd's in front of you. Do you ever get nervous?
Yeah, such.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yes.
But you're confident now, right? Because you're with me in Sinatemba. So we got your back. If any ball drops, I will dive and catch it. So let's do this together. All right, please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the magic key. Let's unlock the talents of the fantastic and wonderful Vuyo! Wow. Wow. Yes! 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 Are we throwing in another ball? Okay. I feel like I need to just stand back for this one. We have now got 4 balls in. This is going to be sensational. As he goes along, Vuyo, the magical stylings from the College of Magic to the world. The magic key! Yes! Is that 5? Is that not too many? Are you not? What? Oh my goodness. If you ever wanted to see juggling a job, a household, debit orders and petrol prices, that's how it goes. Okay, now we're going with the rings. This is great. Wow. Remember, the magic keys at the Artscape. Please go support these talented performers. Tickets at Copy Ticket. That's the magic right there. I am mesmerized at the moment. I hope you are. What? What? Oh my word. They call this trick the Saturn, like the planet. Sorry, I made him laugh. Here we go. Okay, we're going for more now.
Yeah.
4 rings to rule them all. If you're looking for entertainment, the magic key is where you're going to find it on stage. Yes, man, Vuyo. Okay, that's 5, eh? Just take. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yes! Yes, Vuyo! Wow! Wow, that is sensational. I think that's great. Can you just throw me 2 balls there? That'll be fantastic. It's fine. Just 2. Just 2 is fine. So if you want to come see a bit more here in your Feel Good Breakfast Show, I just want to make sure that you just do your thing. If you would like to see more impressive skills like Vuyo, be sure to make your magic known by getting tickets to the Artscape Theatre, the Magic Key, and you can purchase them on computicket.com. The show will be running from the 1st to the 4th of June, and we have one more magic trick coming up next. So if you don't want to miss the magic, I suggest you stay there.
Join Expresso this autumn for a chance to win one of 6 Plascon vouchers, each to the value of 5,000 Rand. With nature's own forests, fields and beaches inspiring Plascon's new color combinations, tell us how you would color your life. Answer our weekly social media question and find the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. So, color your life with 5,000 Rand Plascon paint vouchers to be won this autumn on Expresso.
Welcome back to the magic. That is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso here in S3. Now, before we had a little bit of a break, you saw the juggling stylings of Vuyo, who made sure that you feel the magic on a Monday. But it's time for a final magic demo. This morning, we have 16-year-old Duma from the College of Magic standing by, in fact, to make sure that your mind is blown. Now, card magic is not only entertaining, but it also helps to develop critical thinking and logic in young minds, and possibly even nourishes the idea of mathematics as an option in schools. In order to create illusion, you require a lot of skills, and Duma has all of them. He's about to show you something amazing. Duma, welcome. I'm ready. Pretend that this is a stage, this is a show. Yeah. We are your guests. We've just been called up from the audience. And yeah, we were unsuspecting. We just had a night out, and now it's us on stage with you. What do you got to show us?
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So here I've brought a deck of cards along with me.
Thank you.
In order to do something fast, we have to shuffle the cards.
Yes, please.
So that the magic can work properly.
Okay.
So shuffle the cards, and one snap, the deck turned into a red deck.
No ways, you are actually insane.
But it is a blue deck now.
Yes,
what did you do? But now it's red deck.
So I just need you to say stop whenever you like.
Okay.
Okay.
You're late.
Well, okay, let's do it. He said whenever I like.
You said it.
But don't be late, buddy. Don't
You're
be late. Say stop whenever you like.
Stop!
Here. You sure?
Yes.
You don't want to change?
No.
You can take the top card.
And do what?
And show it to the people and the camera.
Show it to the people. Okay, you turn around.
Okay, I can turn around.
I'm turning around too. I don't know why.
You can also see it.
Okay.
You see the card?
This is lekker stressful.
Okay.
Hide it. Hide it.
You say stop anywhere you like.
Okay. Stop.
Here.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. Can put the card on the middle of the deck.
There we
Put
go.
the card. So the card, it's on the middle of the deck.
Yes.
Not just anywhere. In the middle. So we just one snap, one card in the deck turns into a blue card.
Okay, it's a blue card. Yes.
So we haven't seen the
but
card
he had a
yet.
red card. Yeah. But,
So
yeah.
could you please tell me what was your card?
What was it again? I showed it to everyone.
I know what the card is.
It was,
Can I say it?
Yeah, you can.
The Jack of Spades.
Jack of Spades.
What?
That's the card. So you can take the Jack of Spades, put it on top of the table. So now we need you.
You need me now?
Yeah,
I'm
we need
ready.
you.
I've been ready for
You
the
say
past
stop
10
anywhere
minutes.
you like, okay?
Okay. Stop.
Here.
Yes. That's
Okay.
Go again. Stop.
Here.
That's it.
You sure? Okay, take the card.
Can I take this card?
Yeah, you can take the card.
I'm going to show it.
Show it to the audience.
Don't look. Okay.
Did you see the card? Did the people see the card? Okay, it's fine.
Thank you.
You can come back again.
Thank
Say
you very
stop whenever you like again.
Stop.
Here.
Can I pop
You
that
sure?
in? Thank you very much.
Okay, put the card.
Okay, great stuff. I'm ready.
So now,
Been ready.
first you chose a card.
Yes.
You put it in the middle of the deck, then it turned into a blue card.
Correct. Yeah.
So now we did the same thing on you. You chose the card, you put it on the deck.
Yes.
Will the card turn into blue?
I don't know. But if it does turn the blue, then I'm going to believe that your hands have ink in them.
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no blue card.
No blue cards.
But there is a blue card.
Where's the blue card?
One blue card.
But that's his blue card.
That's my one.
But that's his one.
What was your card?
My card is a 7 of hearts.
7 of hearts.
No!
Thank you. That was it. Thank you.
There's like an aura around him. I don't know what it is. It's like a magical aura.
Have you still got your phone?
I don't
Everything?
know. No, my phone is gone. No, that was phenomenal, Duma. That was sensational. Remember that, as young as you are, this talent that you have, I wanted to guide you and I want you to believe in it and I want you to go with confidence every single time. Well done to Duma, as well as our other fantastic individuals from the College of Magic. Remember, the Magic Key is on at the Artscape, 1 to 4 June 2022. Please go support these magical talents and get your tickets at CompuTicket. It's called the Magic Key. Why? Because it's going to be unlocking your mind, your imagination, and unlocking talent that this country has to offer. Don't miss it.
Oh, well, we have another talent in the kitchen, and she's about to make some magic for us. Jenny Morris, I love learning from you when it comes to cooking, and we're about to whip up something so delicious, perfect for winter.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, listen, when it comes to most pasta recipes, they begin with bringing a pot of salted water to a boil, and here is your permission to skip the steps. Now, our olive pride chickpea and orzo bake, it is 1 pot of vegetarian family yumminess, and this one is bursting with flavor. It is so comforting, and we will be showing you how to make this dish because it's something you're going to want to make again and again and again. Jenny Morris, we are doing something different today.
Totally.
Okay.
Oh, we're definitely skipping a step.
We are skipping a few steps. So at the moment, you've got, of course, we are using our olive pride, our clover olive pride. Now, this clover olive pride blend is highly recommended for hot applications such as frying, grilling, stewing, and baking. Oof.
And talking about baking, I've got some you're going to bake because I've got a lot of chili in this.
Ooh, okay, so you're adding lots of chili, lots of garlic. So this is a spicy dish.
It's a lovely spicy dish, and I love dried chili, and the reason I love it is that it's got a completely different flavor to a fresh chili. Oh, paprika, lovely smoky paprika,
all the
oregano, all the flavors. And what I'm doing is I'm just letting them swim around in the oil and release their gorgeous flavors. And I'm going to get you to release some gorgeous flavor because I need you to squeeze some lemon juice, please.
I will get to work for you on that.
For me. And then while this is happening, I'm just popping in, so I've got garlic, I've got oregano, I've got my beautiful spices, I've got onions and red peppers, and this is a vibrant, look at this dish, it's all red and rosy. I just love it. And a wonderful, wonderful vegetarian dish. I'm going to pop in some, thank you, darling.
Freshly squeezed lemon juice.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to just stick it with my sun-dried tomatoes. And then all of this is going to go into here.
And this is like a one-pot make-it-all.
I love it. No mess. Chicken stock into this, and then I'd like you to pass me the orzo, if you don't mind.
Orzo. Now, what exactly is orzo? Because this looks like rice, but I was telling everyone we're making a pasta dish.
It is pasta. It is pasta indeed. Look at that. It's real pasta. It's a shape. It's a lovely pasta shape. And this sucks up the stock very, very, very quickly.
Okay.
So you still want it to be nice and al dente. Al dente, not al dente.
It's okay. We're with that orzo feel.
And then I'm going to add the sun-dried tomatoes, which are delicious because they've got a nice acidity, but there's a sweetness to it as well. And I'm going to pop those in.
As well as our
my chickpeas. And just let this all cook together. Look how red and rosy. It's wonderful. I just love it.
This is a wonderful winter recipe, and I love that you also use the clover olive pride blend. This one is so amazing, and you know it also has that high smoking point, but it also contains an olive fragrance that you get and it really just enhances the flavor of your dish. Look at that.
Look at that. Now, we're talking about a bit of acidity. I'm going to put a little bit of sugar.
Just a little bit. That's very good when we use a little bit of tomato.
Just a touch like that, yeah, because it takes the acid off. And well, it's not going to make you burn.
Please
at this point, this is going to make a beautiful vegan dish, or once I add that,
we'll just have a vegetarian dish.
We'll have a vegetarian dish, yes. And I'm going to just let this suck up now all these beautiful flavors. I have made one over here, and I know that you love pasta.
Oh, I love pasta. Now, is this something that you just cook on the stovetop? Do you eventually pop it into the oven?
Look, you could bake it. You could absolutely bake it. Not everybody has an oven.
Okay.
So you could make your own little oven. Just stick a lid on it.
Okay.
And just let it just suck up all those beautiful flavors. And if you don't have a lid for your pot, put some foil on it.
Foil works just as good. Oh, Jenny Morris, I'm looking at this. Of course, we're serving it here with some of the feta. We've also added some garnish for a finish. I do need to take a little bite of this. I'm dying to try the delicious orzo that you've made.
Are you happy?
It's amazing, the tomatoey flavors coming through. There is still that bit of bite.
Yes.
But not too spicy. I feel like almost the feta also just tones it down. This is delicious.
And it just gives that lovely salty, you know, it gives a lovely saltiness to this. Now, if you wanted to take this away from a meat-free Monday, you could put some chorizo in here.
Ooh, you really can play around with this
chicken,
dish.
anything.
Oh, amazing. Well, if you want to get your hands on this delicious recipe, we've just showed you how to make this olive pride chickpea and orzo bake. It is available on our website, expressoshow.com. And if you've missed any of the steps, you're in luck because we have some for you.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso live at S3, and we got something fantastic. Now, do me a favor. You need to taste these incredible Jungle Crunchalots pillows. Now, these yummy, crunchy, oat-based pillows have a super creamy center and can be eaten as a cereal, like I am right now, because this is what we do on breakfast, or as a snack. And what do you guys think of these amazing things? Just let me know once you go and grab your own. Okay, so I'm going to go and do a little bit of a challenge over here while eating, because it's good to have entertainment while you're eating. This is why these incredible Crunchalots pillows actually have a little word search at the back, just that while you're eating, you've got something to do. But while you're enjoying your breakfast, I want to give you a chance to win your own box of Crunchalots pillows by playing a game of the Pillow Challenge. My two competitors, Zoe and Tabiso, are standing by. They could win one of these coveted flavors, and there are such sensational ones over here. But what you need to do is impress me first. We have a Pillow Challenge. What you'll need to do is, number one, I've got these blindfolds made specifically for you.
So
the first thing to do is blindfold yourselves. I'll explain the rest later.
Okay.
So blindfold yourselves there. Remember, these blindfolds, they were something else. They were blindfolds. What? I'm not going to tell you what they were, but they kept things secure. That's all I can say.
I can tell.
All right, so this is it's a feeling challenge. So I want you to grab the spoon on the right-hand side of your bowl. So let me direct you right-hand side. Grab the spoon first.
There's no spoon on my right-hand side.
That's your left. Okay, left-hand side. Your left. There we go. Okay, cool. And once you've done that, that's good. So what I will need to do now is make sure that you are ready to rumble. What I have is a lovely bowl of goodies over here. What you would need to do is you're going to have to do a bit of scooping. You will scoop as many of these flowy items into your bowl. The person who has the most at the end of the round will win a beautiful box of Crunchalots Pillows. That's it. So I want you to make sure that you know. That's the bowl in front of you. I just want to feel your bowl in front of you there, Zoe, just so you know where it is. And then in front of the bowl will be what you are looking for, which would be these pillowy things. Don't touch those yet. That's no man's land. You can't touch. Remember, you cannot touch the surface in front of you. You have to touch it with your spoon only, not your hands. Okay. Okay.
You can scoop
So,
it.
what's in front of us, we're supposed to scoop?
That's correct, yeah.
Scoop into the bowl.
Scoop into the bowl, but you cannot let your hand touch any of the things. It's only the spoon and the bowl. Okay. Feel free to scoop in the bowl. All right, you ready? Here's the countdown. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1. Follow! This is great. They're really good. These are delicious. Oh my goodness. Keep on scooping. Well, they're going. Zoe! That's a lot. Sorry. Here we go. Keep on scooping. Keep on scooping. Come on, keep on scooping. Come on. Keep on scooping. Yes! Beautiful, Zoe. That's a big one. One more. Beautiful, big. Another one. Yes, Zoe. Go, keep on going. Yeah! Wow! Yes! And we're done. That was delicious. Okay, take your blindfolds off. It's fun and how much... By the way, it was the no scoop for me. That's the thing.
Because I'm like, no, they're all there.
Obviously,
what have we been doing?
I don't know. But I'll be honest with you, right? In the beginning, you scooped all of it. The rest, you guys were just scooping nothing. It was the best ever. Okay, if I look at your bowls, the winner of this challenge...
It's Tabiso.
...is Uncle Tabsy! Uncle Tabsy, you get to choose one of these flavors.
Okay, so you have original, you've got chocolate, and you've got strawberry.
Okay. Chocolata.
Chocolata. Beautiful. Chocolata. Grab it. There we go.
My chocolate.
Wow, congratulations. I just love the no scoop. It's just the best thing ever. But if you want to grab a couple of these, you should, because there is a massive challenge for you. Please go buy yourself some of the Crunchalots Fillows. That's the thing I want you to do first. Once you've done that, because I know you're not going to be able to resist, play this game with the family.
This is so much fun.
Because it's so much, you know it's so much fun, okay?
It
and
is
of course,
so much
we have
fun.
a little bit of a round 2 for some redemption again tomorrow on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So make sure you get ready and follow with Crunchalots. It's beautiful.
Jungle Crunchalots Pillows. Enjoy these new oat-based creamy scented pillows as a snack or breakfast cereal.
Thank you very much for continuing to stay with us. I'm a winner. Yes, you are rolling with the winners. We're still here in studio with musician Naima, ready to surrender to love. Here she is to perform a brand new jam. This one is called Uthando Lwakho. Naima, baby girl, do your thing.
Back in for you and I. Mutima wako nipase chikondi chako baby, nifuna chance chalo chako ndinaneka mukazi wako. Ambamba bambe my love, ambamba bambe my love. Genze shushu baby, genze shushu. Tinte tinte my love. Uthando lwakho teliamina, telumbamba bambe my love. Tinte tinte my baby, telungenze shushu my love. Uthando lwakho telunike mina. Thank you so much.
Yeah! It's Naima from Zambia to the world. That's what I'm going to say. Zambia to the world.
I think you need to take a bow, Naima, just one more time. Please.
That was incredible.
Look at that.
Oh.
We have
All of the
talent
grace.
on this continent. Also, we have talented breakfast snacks. What are you eating?
So you know the philos that I won?
You're having that for breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, you're having it as a snack.
As a snack. The breakfast. It's a philo.
That's Naima's new song. It's by Crunchyroll.
I love it.
Say. There will be another round of that tomorrow. Trust me, it is incredible. So give it a shot and try it today. If you haven't got yourself a box of these, then I think you should go grab them. But of course, there's so many more little bits of information for you in your Feel Good Breakfast Show tomorrow. You are going to love it. It's sensational.
And
you guys have been wonderful.
Definitely, and on Tuesdays we focus all things medical. So if you've got a voice note and you want to be part of it, remember our number is 063-408-8863.
And of course, support the College of Magic, the Magic Key. Remember, 1 to 4 June, copy a ticket, grab the tickets. And another bar from Naima as we say goodbye to you. Thanks a lot for joining us. The Feel Good Breakfast Show. Later.
Here's to the sweet taste of time off, celebrating the lust of summer, and to family memories made with love by Clover.
Another Feel Good production.